said if you vote.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning, Sunday morning.
We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face.
Nancy gonna cut you a check too late. 2 years after your funeral's paid, 2 years after the grave, she'll be a little stronger for all of the dollars she saved. Watching you wake, watching you cling to your family slipping away. Watch her do nothing but pray. Watch her condemn the Republicans, take them to brunch and then shrug it away. Now watch us be outraged half of a day, then pick a new hero to face our leaders and think they could beat them, playing the game they played since Pelosi had real human blood in her veins. They're all one and the same, sold off stocks and they all maintain that the risk was benign and the virus was tame. Flash forward and 40 Sunday mornings fade, 250,000 people and it's wake and the cruise ship sailed today. So motherfucker, don't shine a light in my face. Wait.
Good morning, Sunday morning. Good morning,
Wait.
Sunday morning.
Wait. We're 40 Sunday mornings out from normal, and the world is not the same. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never came. Don't shine a light in my face. Said you waited for a warning, but the warning never.
Hey, what about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
It couldn't have been me, sir. I was front row in my AOC t-shirt, foie gras sucking on a press release, sir. My head down, fourth shot, good little sheep, sir. Sit down, sweetie. The adults are gonna speak first. They trust the science and they're terrified of research. Here to thank our healthcare heroes, they've been feeding to the burnout, feet first. Until suddenly they dip mid-shift, take a header off a bridge. Such a shame, they were really such a sweet nurse. Now they'll never get the card and the cold slice of pizza meant to thank them for their teamwork. Now they'll never get the baggie full of checks mixed, which would be the one reward they'd see for the moms they had to intubate. And the countless cries of grief since we've been haunted by the specter of the C word. Now all the applause for our healthcare heroes rings a very hollow note because we played it out like Freebird. See, add the ones and zeros in our fragile checks and balances, or checks for all the wealthy who have such unholy talents that we think it's patriotic that we all got zero balances. And re-elect Pelosi so she'll face our toughest challenges. Which is analogous to water for a drowning man. Nancy disregards our impoverished with a spiteful and dismissive little waving of her withered hand. Cause 500,000 freezing on the streets is Biden's winter plan. And I bet you swore they told you were voting for a different man. But really all you wanted was a different man. It didn't make a fucking difference if he finishes the previous inhabitant's agenda and starts auctioning protected land. Biden's born to leap at any war a donor's check demands. Turns out that you can't cure greed once it infects a man. Once they lose respect for human life and focus all their fucking efforts on the oil baron rescue plan. Honey, what are we to Hecuba or Hecuba to us that if she's starving we should give a damn? Why should we be moved to tears if someone isn't eating? We won't even recognize that food is essential to our being. It's just us and motherfucking Israel who will not guarantee that food's a basic human right. Because starvation is our favorite tool of genocide disguised as sanctioned democratic healing. That's me in the corner, losing my religion, gouging out my eyes and then dancing on the ceiling. Jesus fucking Christ, what a feeling.
Hey, what about you, eyeballs? What did you see?
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did they actually say? So I try to sit down with my wife and watch TV, but I just see propaganda elevating the police in the simplest of sitcom banter, and tiny little altars full of offerings to corporate masters in every well-planned wide pan shot of the name brand stocking up the pantry. Pull back one long tracking shot out to the garage to the logo on the Camry. Nice tight shot of the Camry. Close-up view of the Camry, slow pan up on the Camry, long slow zoom to the unmoving human who is up in the front with the tube pumping fumes to him straight from the back of the Camry. Ashamed he just could not provide for himself, let alone for his family. It's a blue pill mindset that spent 2020 making dance beats.
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride, and thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry.
Ignorance is bliss, which explains why a lot of us are so fucking happy. Quick to take the trip for all its trappings. Never one to ask what's up, what's going on, or God forbid what's happening. A lot of us would strap into the ride and then spit right in the eye of the guy whose job it is to snap your fastenings. But maybe we're all born with that capacity. Maybe each of us comes standard with humor, compassion, malice, and audacity. Some of us are blind to the system, but some see it fine and say this is how it has to be. Some of us can stare wide-eyed at a nationwide human catastrophe and only offer platitudes and recipes. And I wish that I could tell myself that nothing's worth obsessing past my everyday necessities. I wish that I could cry fake news over anything that threatened me, tune out our abuses and consume a little levity. Wish that I could...
IndependentLeft.News. Indie.
What's up, Indie?
IndieNews.Network.
Indie. I got news
from Independent Left.
IndependentLeft.news. IndependentLeft.news.
Indie Left Media.
Independent Left News.
Indie Left.
Independent Left News.
Independent Left Media.
Indie Media.
Indie Left.
Indie.
Indie Left News.
Indie Left.
Indie Left News.
Subscribe to IndieNews.Network.
We're world building.
Your way of assisting, I feel like, is really cool.
IndependentLeft.news.
Independent Left News.
I'm a huge fan.
He created INN.
The founder of IndependentNews.Network.
Indy is the founder of IndieNews.Network.
Thank you, IndependentLeft.news.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
Everyone check out Indie Left News.
Hey, Indie Left.
IndependentLeft.news.
Indie.
Hi, Indy.
Indie Left. Indie Left News.
Indie News.
Independent Media.
Independent Left News has done an amazing job.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Holy crap, it's Sunday night already. It's 10 o'clock.
What's up, fam?
It's time for How Did We Miss That? I see we got some fam already here. Good to see E. Heller and of course Anthony Malecki and Gear Brown. And I'm guessing we're going to see some friends like Frankie and some other folks. I'm guessing Eric T. Red will pop his head in and some other folks. We have a big show. We have a lot of story, at least 4 big stories to cover. I know Reef's got some fun stuff for boats, so I want to get right into it. So I will just go into my little spiel. Welcome everybody to How Do We Miss That? So How Do We Miss That is a show and podcast streaming live on Rockfin. We are on Rockfin, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, Odyssey, and Telegram. Also, we're on Substack and independentleft.news. Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. That's now 7 p.m. Pacific. Available on all your favorite podcast platforms afterward as well. It's co-hosted by Indy, that's me, founder and editor of independentleft.news and leftist.today Substack. And this guy, Reef Breland, he is INN's technical director. He is the host of Reefer After Dark and INN News, and he is the creator of the Jimmy Dore unofficial Discord, which has 850 plus members and counting, growing daily. All the stories that you're going to see tonight.
And the beauty of this Beauty and the Boomer.
Well,
what?
Well, shout out to Oz. Oh, Beauty and the Boomer in the house. What's up, Oz? And we got Rick Solis is here. Brandy Weaver. Oh,
guy.
we've got. See, I turned my head and I turned away from chat. So, also, all the stories were featured in IndependentLeft.news between Sunday and Friday this week. It's impossible to keep up with this fire hose of developing news on IndieLeft.news all week long. These are just 4 big stories out of the hundreds that I was able to pick out. So please make sure to share this link. Like the stream, subscribe to our channels on all the platforms that you watch and listen. We're everywhere, you know. Again, we've got our ticker in the bottom. We're thanking all of our donors and our patrons and Rockfin subscribers. Everybody's so great, so great in contributing. Also want to give a big shout out to Big Mad Crab, who may even be here tonight. Big Mad Crab does all the thumbnails. He's our creative director over at INN. Jimmy, of course, Jimmy, she did our trailer. I love that new trailer, just killing it. Phantomas Phanto doing our editing and making all the clips. Fred Edward, who is over on the Rockfin right now, and he does all the sharing over on Twitter and Facebook, and he's great. Resident Skeptic Chris Gilman sharing over on Instagram as well. Thank you, everybody. Seriously, this is such a team effort. I appreciate everybody. I also want to mention that we're both founding members of Indie News Network, which is a collaborative family of 23 independent content creators. You can go to IndieNews.Network and find all of the links to all the channels for INN, as well as another link to find all the members and all their links and find out who they are and subscribe and hook them up with some coin and find some new people and figure out that, wow, some of these other people that I love are also part of INN. 23 content creators. I think this is the biggest independent network there is, pretty much. So,
Sure.
Yeah. How about that, huh? I was thinking about that the other day. It's like,
Yeah.
is there really one that has more channels, more people on more platforms doing more stuff? I can't really think of too many. So I'm pretty proud of that and pretty exciting to be part of. Again, shout out to all my INN family. We got Chris Legion, who streamed this week for the first time on INN. Go check out Chris Legion. Subscribe to him on YouTube, KRIS Legion, Legion, at Legion Socialist on the Twitters, and go hook him up for sure. He's doing great streams. He's also over on Rumble now too. All right, so we're gonna get to our first story. Boom, that's our thumbnail for tonight. Welcome to chat. All right. So we've got 4 different stories on climate. We're going to talk about unions and organizing. We're going to talk about corruption and whistleblowers, and we're going to talk about campaign finance, which are 4 things that we actually cover quite a bit here on How Do We Miss That? So I kind of feel like this episode is a little bit emblematic of the things that we usually do here. So Pakistan, climate polluters must pay. But it's not just about Pakistan. This is a Jeffrey Sachs article that was in Common Dreams this week. Some people may have seen it, but Pakistan's devastation is just a preview of the future, and the biggest climate polluters must pay up. And I think this is talking a little bit about the, 71% of polluters are coming from the top 100 corporations, U.S. military. So again, a lot of this stuff to me is window dressing and talking about the things that we personally can do, and it's a daunting time out there. But okay, so the developing world, again, will not forget the leading role that industrialized economies have played in permanently altering the climate and making catastrophic events more likely. And I think that, again, look at this. It was the flooding in Pakistan. We covered this, 2 weeks ago? And it's devastating. So around the world, 2022 has been a year of climate catastrophes, including droughts, floods, mega fires, typhoons, and more. Sounds like a horror flick, right? Among the hardest hit countries is Pakistan, with torrential monsoon rainfall almost 190% above its 30-year average. Extraordinary flooding has submerged 1/3 of the country and killed 1,400 people so far. But make no mistake, this is not only a natural disaster, rather, again, it is the result of malfeasance for which high-income countries must bear financial responsibility. What's he talking about?
Yeah.
Pakistan's flood can clearly be linked to human-induced climate change. Because warmer air holds more moisture, higher temperatures generally mean heavier monsoons, while monsoons have natural year-to-year variation, being strong in some years, weak in others. Probability distribution is shifting toward heavier rainfall. Melting of Himalayan glaciers due to rising temperatures may also be contributing to increased flooding. This, at the same time, is true of land use changes, including deforestation and poorly designed infrastructure. You add all these things up together, and it's just a freaking nightmare. The cost of the floods is going to be enormous. Early estimates putting it at $30 billion or more. Well, we just sent $100 billion to Ukraine, so I guess there's money coming from somewhere, right? And the coming months are going to bring increased hunger, disease, poverty, and massive rebuilding costs now that more than 1 million homes, oh God, have been damaged or destroyed. Wow. Right, so trust the science. Scientists will likely come up with careful estimates for attribution of Pakistan's floods in the months ahead. Suppose hypothetically that half of their losses are ultimately attributed to long-term climate change. The other half to random year-to-year variation in local land use practices. Well, that would mean around $15 billion of the estimated losses would result from climate change directly, right? Orale. Question would then return to allocating responsibility for these climate attributable costs. How do we pay for that? Who's going to pay for that? And somebody is going to in the end. It's going to be rebuilt somehow. It's not just going to lay there and waste. At least we hope. But then again, look at Louisiana. Under current global arrangements, financial responsibility falls almost entirely on Pakistan. To be sure, the U.S. has pledged around $50 million in relief. Canada's committed $5 million. Other countries likely to join in. But even if total relief reached $150 million, that would cover 1% of the attributable losses in this scenario. Now, consider an alternative way of assigning responsibility based on countries' respective contributions to climate change. This is how liability in the U.S. and other countries generally works. If your neighbor damages your property through reckless behavior, you can sue for damages. And if a nearby factory pollutes an entire community, that community can sue as a group through class action lawsuit in the case of the United States. Right? So the world's rich countries are like that polluting factory. They deprive Pakistan of the long-term climatic conditions on which it's built its economy, homes, farms, and infrastructure. If there was a global climate court, Pakistan's government would have a strong case against the U.S. and other high-income countries for failing to limit climate-changing greenhouse gas emissions. But since there's no global climate court yet, right, or in the near future. Well, let's see what the World Economic Forum has to say about that. Government should act like one. Government should act like one and allocate attributable climate losses and damages to those countries that are historically responsible for them. Well, that's nice. That's wishes and dreams. Pakistan and its neighbors in the Himalayas would, of course, have the core responsibility for the sustainable management of the land, including reforestation and climate-safe infrastructure. The biggest single source of human-endorsed climate change, and I think this is human-induced climate change, is the atmospheric concentration of CO2 emissions resulting from the combustion of fossil fuels, natural gas, oil, and coal. Because some CO2 molecules emitted into the atmosphere remain there for centuries, focusing on cumulative emissions for over long periods of time is crucial. Again, this sounds a lot like Bear Pig, you know? This sounds like Al Gore. I have to say, you know, this reads very similar to An Inconvenient Truth 2004. Between 1850 and 2020 now, burning fossil fuels resulted in cumulative emissions of 1.69 trillion tons of CO2. Of that total, we're accounting for almost a quarter, which is much greater than our share of the 2021 world population, which is roughly 4.2%. So we're using quite a bit more than others, obviously. You know, you can see high-income countries combined account for 58.7% of cumulative CO2 emissions, but only 15% of today's world population. So we're certainly the polluters, of course. I mean, that's not a surprise because we're the ones that are consuming fossil fuels to power all of our machines and our lives, which they're not necessarily using as much, and they're having to be much more efficient with what they have and go without quite often. By contrast, Pakistan contributed roughly 5.2 billion tons of CO2 between 1850 and 2020, which is roughly what the U.S. emits every year. That's over the entire lifetime of the country in 170 years. Okay?
Yep.
And therefore, its share of historical responsibility is around 0.3%, far below its share of global population, which is almost 3%, and its burden of climate-related damage. So clearly, you know, we are on a 6x scale minimum, even if they were polluting at a 1x and they're polluting at a 1/10 x. So it's really 600 times. We're polluting.
Geometry.
Yeah, it's all about geometry. I'm a math guy, so I'm a dork. But literally, like, it's 600. We are 600 times more polluters than Pakistan. Yet they're the ones that have to bear the brunt. And I think that's really the whole argument here. All right, there is some debate over what dates to use. So do you use 1850? Okay, because that's when worldwide fossil fuel use surged. Wow, that's a tongue twister right there. With early U.S. and European industrialization, but another camp would start the clock in 1992. Now that's ridiculous because there was so much industrialization that happened prior to 1992, but that's when they decided to come up with like some kind of a standard framework where everybody was kind of on an equal footing and you could measure from that point forward. Either way, it's really, really egregious. But again, this debate hardly affects the apportionment of responsibility. Even if we measure from just the 1992, U.S. share is almost 20%, high-income groups almost 47%, and Pakistan's just the same at like 0.4 instead of 0.3. It's like nothing. All right, either way, rich countries should bear their fair share of the attributable costs of climate change adaptation, emergency response, recovery in countries that played little to no role. Which, yeah, I can totally see a Republican government apportioning more money towards Pakistan after they had a massive flooding of more than a token amount to not make them seem like the most heartless people on the planet, even though they already are going to be no matter what.
Right.
So, yeah, as climate change damages increase, so too does the need for large-scale, costly investments, which massive reforestation, flood control, and who's paying for all this, right? The current disasters are just a preview of what awaits us in the coming years and decades. So, like, what are we going to do? Too often, rich and powerful countries deny their historical responsibilities, whether for colonialism, slavery, or climate damage. All countries are responsible for decarbonizing their energy systems and managing their land and ecosystems responsibly and sustainably, yet The developing world will not forget the leading role that rich countries have played in creating today's worldwide climate disasters. As climate-related losses rapidly mount, global demands for climate justice will only grow. And that's a lot of talk on the theoretical level about what should potentially happen. What do you think on that one, dude?
I mean, you see with Puerto Rico dealing with this too, right? Like now as well. I mean, they do have a point that this is definitely climate related. It's, like issue being is how some group is deciding to act on those climate problems.
Puerto Rico, Haiti. I mean, these disasters are happening so often and more often, and they're happening more violently, and they're happening here too. But how are we going to
do preventative measures as well as like we've already spilled the milk? You got to like clean that up. Like,
this is where
we got to take precautions for the disasters that are coming, which that's not happening at all. We're sending how much is we just sent to a country in like Eastern Europe, like
$100 billion for what? Yeah.
When Florida's gonna have to worry about those same things. Like
we're underwater within, they're talking about the shelf of West Antarctica falling off within the next like couple of years maximum. And if and when that happens, yikes!
You're gonna need seawalls, water infrastructure. Like
I hope you have an umbrella and
the
some
levees
snorkels.
are still only rated to a class 3. New Orleans still only rated to a class 3 in those same spots. You know what I'm talking about? Right near where that ward used to be. The 9th. Like, still the same. You're just waiting for something to like run through those bowling pins.
Oh man.
Like how many class 4 hurricanes are coming in now?
It feels like hurricane season lasts longer, and it's again more often, more violent, more frequent, and hitting a bigger area too. That's the other thing, is that they come further north. Now we're seeing them coming up like the
you guys are
East Coast to Jersey and stuff. Yeah, like we're not equipped to deal with that kind of
like
stuff.
Like a class 3.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we've had a couple of them in the
Sometimes they're sneaking by Florida, coming up the Atlantic, like, which normally doesn't happen that often.
Like the town that I live in was literally on the news twice in the last decade for being heavily underwater. It's it's pretty brutal. Now we're on the opposite end on the mountain, so we're not going to be underwater. But I certainly feel and they made that a flood zone, so you can't even live there anymore. But yeah, I mean, look at what happened there, and again. Now we're going to see China help pay to rebuild.
What was the article?
Infrastructure.
You sent me the other day about insurers. Do we have that tonight, or is that?
No. No, I didn't. But how?
That because that's.
Yeah, I killed that one.
Yeah.
But,
go ahead.
But yeah, no, go ahead. Share that. What's up, Bear?
Oh, I was saying that like what? Who did that piece? Was that? I forget. But. They were talking about how insurers are essentially going to stop paying for flood insurance and disaster insurance, because it's just like too costly of a thing for them to do now.
Yeah, wildfire insurance in California. Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry,
they're just not going to do it anymore. Not that you already couldn't afford it.
Nope. Nope. So, it's just that
who did that article? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but it's just like if they're guaranteed as an insurance company to have to pay that your house is going to burn down and they're going to have to replace it at some point. What's the premium for that? A guaranteed replacement house within X amount of time, maybe next week. I mean, it's brutal. It's brutal. Welcome, Rick Solis. Capitalism's a hell of a drug. We got Joe STFU Shitlib on Twitter. Everybody go check him out. Go follow him. He's putting out some amazing stuff. He did the videos for the Amazon piece that we did this week in INN Substack. By the way, I think everybody here saw it or was part of it, but we did put out a crazy long piece in depth on the Amazon labor union, Chris Smalls, and the red flags that we're seeing about alignment and co-optation by the DNC and the Democrats. So give that a read if you get a chance. We're actually going to tie into that right now because our next article is a Left Voice article written by a couple sharp dudes. Luigi Morris for sure, I know, and I know James Dennis Hoff also. So this article is called "Now More Than Ever, the Working Class Needs Independent Democratic Unions." And Colin's going to scream, but wait, where's the co-ops? And I feel you. And that is the eventual long-term goal. Where do we go right now? Because there's too many people that aren't getting on board with necessarily owning a co-op. And like I was, Colin and I started having this conversation last night, and a co-op is a commitment. A co-op is not just showing up to work and punching out at 5 o'clock. And not everybody wants to do that, number one. Not everybody's ready to make that commitment, number two. And we have to have some kind of step to get them there, to show them that at least having a say and voting and being involved in the management of your company on a day-to-day basis is important. And I think that it's a good intermediary step, potentially, as long as it does not get, like we're going to talk about here. Again, I think that our friend Shadowban Refugee is going to have some opinions, I'm guessing, about this as well. So will Chris Legion. I don't agree with everything that's in here, but I thought it was really important. So again, recently discussions around unionization have become a national conversation, which is awesome. New workplaces are unionizing, and the question of how to ensure their democratic functioning is the order of the day. And I think that some of the stuff you will absolutely agree with. Yeah, go ahead.
I do think people should, like, right off the bat, be focusing on worker co-ops as your whole loaf of bread.
Yes.
Who was it? Was it Hedges the other day talking about co-ops? Somebody also was recently. So somebody in chat will tell me.
It was either Hedges or Wolf, probably Professor Wolf.
Yeah, it might have been Wolf.
Mm-hmm. So,
but yeah.
So again, I started reading this and I'm like, okay, this is a good one. Now again, this is going to be a little long. This is going to be kind of like our featured article of the night. The next two aren't going to be as long, but I think that this one was super important to get through, and this could potentially spark a lot of discussion and introduce the Amazon article as well. But long maligned and misunderstood, labor unions are suddenly all the rage, right? Particularly among young people. New unions are being organized by Amazon warehouse workers in Staten Island, Starbucks workers at more than 210 stores across the country, and now workers at Apple Store, Chipotle, and Trader Joe's, and they're inspiring others to do the same. This is exciting and unprecedented. New wave of grassroots unionization, if successful, could reshape the labor movement as we know it, but success is far from guaranteed. Sounds familiar. These workers and their new leaders are up against some of the wealthiest and most powerful corporations in the country. Amazon, for instance, has waged a massive multi-million-dollar campaign to weaken the new labor union and to stop further unionization efforts and attempts at its warehouses, an effort that so far seems to be working. Meanwhile, Starbucks and Chipotle have both adopted scorched earth tactics, firing organizers and supporters, sometimes closing down entire stores in order to break the fledgling unions. And we've covered several of those actions and illegal actions here. Even companies that have long been unionized, such as UPS, have been brazenly firing worker activists in advance of new contract negotiations. These attacks are designed to weaken the morale of union supporters and dissuade workers from further organizing. Unfortunately, the boss is not the only threat to these initiatives. Shadowban will agree, the big bureaucratic unions, such as the AFL-CIO and the SEIU, and their national leaders have a long history of absorbing and co-opting such grassroots unionization efforts, diverting direct conflict with the bosses into lukewarm media campaigns, such as the Fight for 15, which should be the Fight for 25 at this point, legislative struggles, and get out the vote efforts for Democratic politicians, all while weeding out and displacing more militant rank-and-file members within bureaucrats and staffers. And these same pressures exist in more established private and public sector unions everywhere. Consequently, if we want to truly win greater power for working people, we will need to build fighting, rank-and-file unions that can directly challenge not only the boss, but also the system of exploitation and state repression that stands behind every employer. This means rejecting the old models of bureaucratic business unionism and instead building politically independent organizations that are democratically organized and run by working people themselves from the bottom up. Hell yeah.
Yep.
As we organize new unions, and as those new unions grow, workers will feel the intense pressure to conform to old models of organization, to play along to get along, and to work within the state system. Already, the Democratic Party and even the president himself has sought to co-opt the Amazon labor movement, promising political and legislative support in exchange for labor peace and a good working relationship with the state's own NLRB. Defeating these efforts will require nothing less than a revolution within the labor movement, and that revolution begins by making our unions truly democratic spaces for the struggles of working people. Again, I can't find anything so far to argue with. So far, I'm going, yes, right? Unions as organizations of the working class. Though it may not always feel like it, unions are fundamentally organizations of the working class for the working class. They are some of the most important spaces where working people can come together to fight collectively over the use of their labor. And by withholding that labor, workers can win incredible gains. Unions are also defensive organizations, confronting and pushing back the attacks of the bosses who constantly seek to squeeze more profit out of each worker. At the same time, unions are a tool to fight for broad class interests and against state repression and austerity. Understanding why unions matter requires that we understand the inherently exploitative nature of capitalism. And I think, again, Rick said it, capitalism is the disease. The boss's wealth comes from exploiting our labor. You know, they hire us and use our labor for their own interest, but they pay us only a fraction of the value we produce. Consequently, they're always seeking various methods to increase their profits at our expense, whether by increasing levels of exploitation, speeding up production, reducing our wages and benefits, or creating new technologies to replace us. This means workers and bosses have inherently counteropposed interests. Confronting these bosses and the state that defends them, therefore, requires the collective organization of the working class as a class. What is it? What do they call it? No something but class. Was it no race? It's not a race issue; it's a class issue all day long. Right? To do that, we have to make our unions into instruments of the class struggle. Right? Only struggles class struggle. But we also have an obstacle in our own house. Right. We also have an obstacle in our own house. Union misleaders are well known for their top-down and undemocratic way of conducting themselves. Therefore, to build new fighting unions and to put our current unions at the service of workers, there are two fundamental principles that we must adopt: maximum union democracy and total independence from the state and the bosses. What does that mean?
Yep.
So ask any labor bureaucrat about the importance of democracy as a principle of union organization, and they'll inevitably tell you that democracy is essential to building a strong union. But the so-called democracy that now exists in our unions is, with few exceptions, little more than fiction. It's a farce, performed every few years to vote on a proposed contract or new leadership. The day-to-day decision-making and organization of our unions are frequently left to a very small group of misleaders and full-time staffers whose interests are often only tangentially aligned with the rank-and-file workers they claim to represent. For these bureaucrats, maintaining the union's dues base is often their first priority, and anything that threatens the continued stability of the union and its ongoing happy relationship with the state, such as sympathy strikes or other supposedly illegal work activities, are treated as existential threats. Kind of got marble mouth tonight. In such a democracy, debate, organization, and labor struggle are all limited and tightly controlled. Limited hangout, as Whitney Webb likes to say. The decisions of when and whether to strike or take other work actions are frequently brought to the rank and file workers only after the leadership has decided on them. And this often goes double for contract proposals related to wages, benefits, and working conditions. When presented with weak contracts by their leaders, for instance, workers are often told this is the best they can win, and without a democratic forum to actually discuss and debate the merits of such contracts or the real conditions of struggle as they exist, workers rarely get the chance to fight for anything better. Workers' real democracy, on the other hand, looks very different. To build truly democratic unions, we must empower the rank and file members as much as possible. But that's where the power of any union lies. This means creating open, democratic assemblies for regular discussion, debate, and decision-making among all members of the workplace. It means open and transparent bargaining and the direct election of shop stewards and bargaining committee members subject to immediate recall by a majority of the shop or union. And it means the direct election of local and national union leaders from within the workplace who are committed to the interests of the working class, subject to immediate recall, and who earn no more than the annual wage of the average worker. Also really important. The first of these necessities, the assembly, is at the heart of workers' democracy. The argument for workers' assemblies follows from the idea that the actions a union takes should be decided by the workers themselves and grounded in debate and discussion. By creating and maintaining regular assemblies of the workers and the sovereign body of all decisions, worker militancy can be developed and maintained even in the face of attacks from the bosses of state. Furthermore, these assemblies must, whenever possible, unify all workers under one fist, involving every worker in the workplace in these assemblies, whether in the union or not, and sometimes even workers from outside when in solidarity with the union, ensures that the union represents all workers' interests and thus undermines the boss's attempts to divide us. And more importantly, perhaps, these spaces allow workers to bring conversations to the table that go beyond the workplace and beyond wages and benefits, such as how to organize to fight to defend abortion rights or confront racist police violence in our communities. Okay, for workers' assemblies to function, they must be based on full democracy, freedom of political tendencies and opinion that defend the interests of workers, and voting on resolutions that must be carried out by the union and its members. In other words, the rank and file workers are the ones who have to make decisions from when to take work actions and what the demands to fight for are, the constitution of the union itself. And that, I think, is, again, a lot of things that Colin chat talks about, is making sure you've got your list of demands down, figuring out what is it that we're fighting for, and organize and make sure that it works and is best for all the workers. These kind of spaces won't come from above.
That Kwame Ture quote, where mobilization means everyone's against the same thing, whereas organization, which is what you need to be a union, means everyone has to be for the same thing.
We have to figure out what we're for. Oh, it's such a great thing. And it's actually in Joe's video in the second one, I believe. So, again,
you need of thought.
Unity of thought. That's right. So, those of us in existing unions will have to fight for the authority and the right to call meetings, issue statements, talk to the press, organize events, etc. That's one of the things that we talked about in our article is, why couldn't we get anybody from ALU to answer a press inquiry? And as we form new unions, as those unions grow, it's imperative that we continue to agitate for the broadest possible discussion and debate among the workers. One of the things that we talked about in our article. What just happened? Why couldn't we get anybody from ALU to answer
I don't know,
a press
you
inquiry?
found an echo?
And as we form new unions, as those unions grow, it's imperative that we continue to agitate for the broadest possible discussion and debate among the workers.
Where are you playing it at?
I don't know. Where's this coming from?
Your cell phone?
Yeah, maybe. Holy moly. How did that happen? Okay, I don't know. That was really bizarre. Sorry, everybody.
I thought we told you to put down the booze.
God. We have been watching a lot of Trailer Park Boys too much.
You hanging out with Randy Bobandy?
Yeah,
again?
I think you might have been. I don't know what the heck that was. The call is coming from inside the house. That's right, Warren. Extra booyah. All right. So again, those who work and form the rank and file of the union are the best ones to determine their own destiny, a fact that challenges the notion that unions are something external to the workers and somehow meant to only provide services. It's in fact completely the opposite. Workers made unions, and unions are supposed to be the tools for struggle. So in addition to these assemblies, we also need smaller bodies of delegates and leaders to help organize and to bargain directly with the boss when necessary, and to carry through the decisions of the assembly. Again, you need structure, but these delegate and leadership bodies, however constructed, have to be chosen directly by the rank and file members themselves and wholly accountable to them. So we need to choose like the people that we want to represent us around us. How about that? Amazing concept.
Mm-hmm.
The reason for holding these positions should be out of a dedication to the worker struggle and not to enrich themselves or accumulate power. Almost like giving it to the people who don't necessarily want it in the first place. Therefore, elected positions in a union have to guarantee their rotation to make room for new leaders. The positions should be for a short period of years, after which leaders return to their jobs. We cannot continue to allow our leaders to occupy positions for decades while making six-figure salaries far and above what the members make. I can't agree more with that. Therefore, all elected leaders and officials must be chosen for their commitment to the union and for their fellow workers and to the working class more broadly. I don't think that's unreasonable. Furthermore, they must be subject again to immediate recall by the rank and file at all times, and those who receive salaries should receive no more than the average wage of the average worker. Limiting the privilege and salaries of union leaders in this way helps to keep them directly connected to the struggles and interests of the members they represent. In almost all unions, members' activities tend to revolve around bargaining, but workers should be able to fight for their demands at any point. Whatever the situation is, we need to be able to fight for open bargaining. Bargaining should include all the membership, and not just updates, but access to the daily negotiations and to the most complete and current information. This is going to allow the negotiations to be discussed at rank and file meetings, so that every worker can decide on the best steps for the struggle to take with full transparency. All this is totally opposed to the top-down approach of the current unions, where decisions are made at a small table in a closed room, and in general, with the presence of experts and lawyers from outside consulting firms that have little to do with workers' lives or interests. Again, I think if Shadowband is still here, he would pretty much totally agree with everything you've seen so far. Now, political independence. So while democracy is essential for the workers' movement, equally important is political independence from the state and the bourgeois party. This is what I keep talking about, and this is something that I was screaming about. The state has increasingly co-opted the labor movement since the passage of the National Labor Relations Act in 1935 and Taft-Hartley in 1947. Again, shout out to Shadowband Refugee for talking about the PRO Act, talking about Taft-Hartley, which are laws that respectively legalized and limited union activity. Okay, because these laws brought unions...
the PRO Act was going to, but yes.
Right, that was the plan. But again, they already have these. Because these laws brought unions under the formal jurisdiction of the federal government, union leaders and bureaucrats have poured more and more money into and effort into negotiating with the state over mostly legislative issues and spent less and less time organizing the rank and file workers for struggle against the bosses. I see you nodding your head pretty well.
Yep.
That's good. This process has, over the last 80 years, reduced many national labor unions to little more than lobbying agencies committed to negotiating for the rights of labor within the narrow framework of what the capitalist state will allow. The failure of this strategy of coolly negotiating with the enemy is evidenced by decades-long decline in unionization rates and the shrinking number of major work stoppages each year, not to mention the general decline in working conditions, standards of living, and even life expectancy of most working people. Now, again, part of that is the COVID mess that was inflicted upon us the last few years. Also, I would talk about, again, coolly negotiating with the enemy. You're letting them set all the terms, 100%. And again, they're going to talk about, to build real power for themselves, working power must break the ties between our unions and the parties of the rich, namely the Democrats and the Republicans, of course. The leadership of both these political parties is composed of millionaires and businessmen and businesswomen. It is in their interest to maintain the current system of exploitation and to tightly control and limit the power of labor, even through repression or, just as frequently, co-optation. The Democrats may claim to represent the workers, and President Biden may claim to be the most pro-union president ever. But in reality, their interests are not aligned with those of working people. Look at what happened just this week during the rail strike. During their electoral campaigns, they received millions of dollars from the very corporations that we're fighting. For example, the Democratic Party has received huge donations and endorsements from union-busting executives like Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz, who almost ran for president on their ticket, and Amazon contributed almost $11 million to Democrats and, of course, $2 million to Republicans because they got to pay off both sides, and that's just 2020 alone. The Democratic Party often works with and employs the same law firms and polling firms that help corporations like Amazon and others run union-busting campaigns in our workplaces. This is Perkins Coie. We've talked about that how many times already? Okay, that's one of the biggest law firms there is, DNC affiliated. Anytime you hear Perkins Coie, get your ears up, man, because chances are some nefarious shit's happening. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, they refuse to fight on key issues that affect working and oppressed people, like abortion rights or the right to not be murdered by cops. Douchebags. Some more progressive union leaders, like left bureaucrats and even some young activists, nonetheless still believe that we can use the Democrats for our own interests while remaining loyal to the needs of working people and unions. They believe we can use so-called progressive Democrats like Sanders and AOC to draw attention to our struggles, to pass legislation like the PRO Act, and to win more popular support for the ongoing unionization efforts of workers everywhere. But threading that needle is not easy. Such strategies inevitably lead to co-optation, as we've seen time and time again. Worse still, they'll sow political confusion among the class, distracting working people from the real tasks of building power through working class tactics of struggle and organization. By working with and withholding criticism of the Democratic Party of certain of its members, and by failing to make clear at every opportunity the need for class independence, such organizing efforts run the risk of marching our unions even further into the arms of the state. Are you listening, Chris Smalls? Sir. This is why the Democratic Party remains this is why the Democratic Party remains the graveyard of both social movements and workers' aspirations. Party's real interests.
Fuck up, asshole.
The party's real interests are shown in its complete failure to pass even moderately progressive reforms such as the Employee Free Choice Act or the PRO Act, which we know are corporate giveaways and nonsense and garbage, which labor unions have spent millions of dollars and countless hours in effort to lobby for. As we build new unions, we must be on guard not to reproduce the bureaucratic structures and class collaboration that have led us to this current impasse. The bureaucratic leaders of our unions see it as their job to maintain their close ties to political establishment by delivering labor peace and attempting to keep rank-and-file workers in line. Fuck those guys. Every 2 years, our union leaders, from the AFT to the Teamsters, endorse bourgeois politicians without any kind of real consultation with the membership. They then promise us partial improvements in our workplaces, decided by them and not the workers, in exchange for supporting their candidates with money, endorsements, and get-out-the-vote efforts that build political and ideological bridges between the most active and often the most well-intentioned union members and the Democratic Party establishment. Fucking gross. Sorry, man, I'm getting angry. In the same way, they defend and justify such state institutions as the NLRB, presenting them as fair and impartial arbiters, as if the state doesn't function to defend the wealth of capitalists. The recent fine imposed by the NLRB on the mine workers in Alabama, the Warrior Met Coal workers, it's a perfect example of why we can't rely on the state to arbitrate our disputes with our working class enemies. Unions should be created and organized according to workers' interests, but instead they have to comply with the state's many restrictions. The capitalist and imperialist U.S. state determines whether a union can even exist, and what's legal about its functioning and what's not, how it should proceed to negotiate, what labor actions are legal and illegal, and whether and when it is allowed to strike. That's insane. As Marx and Engels said a long time ago, the executive of the modern state is nothing more but a committee for managing the common affairs of the whole bourgeoisie. We cannot fool ourselves into thinking that our interests amount to anything more than a technical consideration for the ruling class. That's right. Bourgeois politics are willing to tolerate, some more, some less, the existence of unions, as long as these are limited to fight for minor concessions and maybe, for a time, a slightly bigger piece of the pie, as they say. But these parties are interested in workers insofar as those workers help maintain the capitalist economic system. They will never accept and would certainly never support any union that explicitly questions or challenges the foundations of capitalist exploitation. Again, we're talking about co-ops now. They want to use our unions for their own interests, to have a grasp on the workers' movement from the inside, and that's possible right? And that's possible thanks to the role of the union bureaucracy. In that sense, we have to see unions as a terrain of political struggle and dispute, and we need to fight to recover them for a working class strategy. Yes, they work just as much for the corporations as they do for the workers, unfortunately. So the profits of the bosses depend on continued exploitation and coercion of the working class, and therefore our interests are deeply opposed to those of our bosses. I don't think that's really surprising. In that sense, there's no such thing as a fair share of the pie. So long as there's a class of people living off the work of others, we will continue to live in an unequal society grounded in exploitation and oppression of the many for the benefit of the few. Where have I heard that before?
Yep.
But even as we fight for higher wages, better benefits, and more humane working conditions here at home, we must not forget that we live in a society that benefits not only from our exploitation, but also from the ruthless exploitation of our fellow workers internationally. Shout out to Nick from Socialist MMA. He's been taking it through the teeth this week, and he's one of the people that's been talking heavily about international class struggle. Many times the concessions that workers can get here in the United States are a consequence of imperialist policies. U.S. capitalists can compensate for the loss of some profits here while exploiting natural and human resources from other countries, and even taking advantage of the immigrants that are forced to flee their countries to be exploited here under even worse working conditions than native workers. In that sense, our unionism must also be internationalist and anti-imperialist, and union democracy is the only way to push and fight for that political perspective. Yep. Our demands go beyond what we can fight for in our workplace, and against our own bosses, we need to unite with other workers and movements to fight for broader goals. And I think, again, Chris started to do this in early May, and they arranged that May Day walkout that first in 2020. I don't know if everybody remembers that, but we were going back and watching some old footage, and that guy, look, he is an organizer. It's hard to see what's happening right now, and we really want to see the workers represented properly, and they need a proper PR team and a proper PR representation arm that is not affiliated with the Democratic Party or unions.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to see how they're playing you.
Yeah. So,
like, at some point, your ignorance of the game, like, you know, like you're gonna get they're gonna bench you at some point.
Yep.
You know.
So again, we need to fight racism, sexism, xenophobia, and every type of discrimination and bigotry. We need to fight for free and public health care and education. We need to fight for reproductive rights, immigrants' rights, housing rights, and much more. To strengthen our struggle inside and outside the workplaces, we must recover our own methods of struggle. We need to organize walkouts, strikes, picket lines. Hurting their profits by withholding labor is one of our most powerful tools. If there's one thing the pandemic made clear, it's that we're the ones who run the society. We produce the wealth, and we should be the ones deciding what to do with it. That was a long one. I'm sorry about that, but I thought that was super important, and there were so many really excellent quotes and tie-ins to what we had written and talked about last week on INN News as well. We went through the article, so if you haven't seen INN News from Wednesday night, episode 24, Reef, Colin, and I go through the article that was a collaborative effort from a bunch of INN members, as well as watch the videos that Joe made, STFU Shitlib on Twitter. They were excellent videos that really tried to encapsulate what we wrote in warning all the things that we'd seen in the alignment with the Democratic Party, in how we need to be solely focused on building unity and not necessarily talking about what we're against, but what we're for, and how we're here to help. And we want to help. So anyone who hasn't seen that, please, by all means, go check that out. We've gone through it, and you can go to IndieNews.Network.substack.com, and it's pinned up at the top, I believe, right now. It's called Amazon Labor Union and Chris Small's Sadly Many Red Flags. That's the title of the article that we had written. Reef helped contribute to it, do a lot of the research, and he was behind the scenes. Big Mad Crab, I believe, was helping with some stuff too. Well, Reef, he actually did a thumbnail for Joe's second video. That was badass.
I did. We should watch that. Actually, that would go well with this.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let me see if I can bring that up on my end here.
In the meantime, I'll talk about the other contributions I did, like all these stuff that we talked about on INN News, on Smalls. What we should do is pull all those out as a playlist, which I'll try to do that. We talked about the AFT, and how corrupt it was, recently when Smalls attended their shindig.
Yep.
And all the stuff that they were pushing for the teachers union. That's definitely very democratic, right down the line, down to Ukraine funding and COVID stuff. I mean, just practically could have been a DNC, flyer.
Yeah.
Warren showed up. You probably do better pulling up your article.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Isn't that in there?
Yeah.
Or just go to
that's a good point.
On
that's a good idea.
INN and
we can go in
one of them.
We can go down to the bottom. I'm sure it's there.
Yeah, it should be in there, I think.
Yep. There it is.
There it is.
Boom. Pause that. Hold on. And now I gotta turn on whip. All right. This was again Joe, STFU shitlib. This was Wake Up Chris.
To the first union in American history.
Yeah!
You're in trouble, man. I am. Thank you. You're in trouble.
Biden, our friend Joe, our good friend Joe.
Well, you got it done in one place. Yeah. Let's not stop. That's right.
Seriously? What the fuck?
Biden, our friend Joe, our good friend Joe.
You are such a fucking asshole who doesn't care about the people that you fucking represent.
It wasn't until we were victorious that we got any type of support. So to have it now, visiting the White House, having a comrade in Bernie Sanders.
Seriously? What the fuck?
You got no friends in Washington, D.C. Your enemy is laughing at you. Wake up, asshole.
I didn't go in there to just do a photo op. I definitely had some demands that they didn't play. And,
wow.
And the whole thing about going to meet him because you think it's going to elevate the situation. No, not even the fact that the co-option that can take place that we've seen from almost every single leftist outlet out there that eventually gets swallowed up by the establishment. Biden was the architect for the conditions that created the fact that you are fighting like the Dickens that we are all living in right now.
Realize that it's not a left or right thing. It's not a Democrat or a Republican thing. It's a workers thing.
Just because you say this isn't about Republican or Democrat doesn't mean it's so if the actions don't back it up.
God, I love that moment, especially with Senator Graham kind of like looking down and shit. He was embarrassed.
First of all, I want to address Mr. Graham. First off, it sounded like you was talking about more of the companies and the businesses in your speech, but you forgot that the people are the ones who make these companies operate. And I think that it's in your best interest to realize that it's not a left or right thing. It's not a Democrat or a Republican thing. It's a workers thing.
Just like hearing Lindsey Graham's name, I get like, I can feel my heart rate go up. Like the anger start to build inside me.
I definitely went off script. I had to hold it in.
Yeah.
The notion that people in the united in this democracy will outmatch tyranny is the oldest American ideal.
The reason why we're an independent union is because we don't want to get tied to politics, because we're representing 8,300 members that we know are going to have different political views. I've been on tour across the country. It's been like a real hot labor summer.
I see you watching me, brother. Watch it. You know I was coming. You ain't gonna stop me. You told me on April 2nd, right? That I wasn't smart or articulate. But guess what? Look what I did. Look what I did.
Yes, he did.
Tonight, after I leave here, the local clan rides up on the campus, puts up some racist signs, slaps a couple of sisters, brothers around. Tomorrow morning, every African out here be out here. Even the Uncle Toms. Let's get down. We got to do something. And I promise you, for 3 or 4 days, you'll be very hot.
It's been like a real hot labor summer.
There'll be no peace on this campus for 3 or 4 days. White students even be afraid of you. And after 3 or 4 days, you will sit down. And you'll forget about it. Fuck Jeff Bezos! Fuck Jeff Bezos! Billionaires, they gotta go! Billionaires, they gotta go! Fuck Jeff Bezos! Fuck Jeff Bezos! Just because everybody's against the same thing doesn't mean everybody is for the same thing. Fuck Jeff Bezos! 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 Unity doesn't represent what you're against. It represents what you are for.
Now I hear like he is in talks of writing a memoir.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
And a friend of the show, Franco, I think also reached out recently.
Friend of the show, Sabby, too.
Sabby has also tried to reach out. I just feel like we want sit rep, man. Like, where's the actual work happening? What's actually happening?
What's the plan, and how can we help? And how can we help organize and get the word out and spread the stories of what's happening in the warehouses and hold meetings offline for workers? We want to help. We have a voice. We know how to run streams. We know technology. We know marketing. We know social media. We have skills that we can lend to this. And we're offering, and we're kind of screaming here that we want to help.
Of course, they tried to demonize my character. You know, they saying that the union dude is going to go towards my Lamborghini. But they don't know me. I'm more of a BMW guy. But there you go. It wasn't even enough for me to even come to the table.
Pinky ring, we're about to hit the two-tone my Lambo, that's drippy. At the bottom, that's your tip.
We drippy.
Yeah, it's drippy.
Yes, it is.
Joe just kind of...
That was fair use of that, by the way.
Yes, fair use.
Definitely
YouTube.
Fair use.
YouTube has not been liking
it's in
the
Chris's
use
video.
of that song. Yeah,
Go
Chris
take
used
his
it
crap down.
and rewrote it. Yep. You got that union creepy. Oof. So, again, we do have a couple more stories, but yeah. So, I think again, Luigi and James Dennis Hoff over there at Left Voice, great article over there, great insights. I wish they had talked a little bit about workers seizing the means of production, but I get a copyright bing every week, Colin. It's all right. Every time Reef does this stuff, we get dinged, so it's all good. So we've got a couple more stories, and these are really interesting ones. And again, I had not heard this anywhere. This is a guy who I'm a subscriber to, Jordan Schachtel, The Dossier. A big fan of this outlet. We've talked about him before. We've covered some of his stories.
Yes, we have.
By the way, the number 51, I wanted to shout out to everyone living in the Seattle area. That number 51 is for Ichiro and Randy Johnson. They're both retired number 51s, and they're kind of the best 51s in any of the history of sports. And that's what I've been doing with the episode numbers lately. So anybody into the Seattle area and baseball stuff, and it's not just baseball. I've been pulling from NASCAR and basketball, wherever I can kind of think about where it makes sense.
I'm Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help.
No, I don't want to get some help. I like what's going on right here. So yeah, this is a really fascinating one. Again, Twitter whistleblower handlers played a key role in facilitating the sham Trump impeachment. What's going on here? Whistleblower aid is funded by a notorious left-wing billionaire.
Is this the ketchup lady?
No, not that one.
You get to talk about ketchup?
No.
Damn.
So,
well, what am I supposed to do with all this ketchup? God.
What? The Dossier and
I brought the ketchup here just for the ketchup.
I don't get that one, but okay. A bipartisan panel in Congress convened last Tuesday to bring forward an alleged Twitter whistleblower by the name of Peter Mudge Zatko. What a weird name. Former executive at the social media giant, right? Zatko, who previously had been employed at Google and DARPA, among other high-profile organizations, hurled all kinds of accusations at Twitter, alleging one major scandal after another. What's going on here? Now, again, I brought this up.
The ketchup lady, just to be clear, that Indy doesn't follow mainstream news enough.
Nope.
To know the ketchup lady.
Nope.
They talked about Trump throwing ketchup all over the White House because he got mad.
Oh yes,
it was
okay.
When they talked about him in the van.
I do remember that whole
trying to
ordeal.
Choke the Secret Service guy from the back.
Okay, I do remember that too. Kind of
choking works.
Okay, so here we go. Finally, sorry about all that. I do have the video ready and queued up, and I believe this will work, and you'll be able to hear it. And go. No?
I think your microphone may need...
There it is.
Oh, he's muted.
Thank you very much, sir. Chairman Durbin, Ranking Member Grassley, members of the committee, I appear before you today to answer questions about information I submitted in written disclosures about cybersecurity concerns I observed while working at Twitter. My name is Peter Zatko, but I'm more often referred to by my online handle as Mudge. For 30 years, my mission has been to make the world better by making it more secure. From November 2020 until January 2022, I was a member of Twitter's executive team. In my role, I was responsible for information security, privacy engineering, physical security, information technology, and Twitter global support. I'm here today because Twitter leadership is misleading the public, lawmakers, regulators, and even its own board of directors. What I discovered when I joined Twitter was that this enormously influential company was over a decade behind industry security standards. The company's cybersecurity failures make it vulnerable to exploitation, causing real harm to real people. And when an influential media platform can be compromised by teenagers, thieves, and spies, and the company repeatedly creates security problems on their own, this is a big deal for all of us. When I brought concrete evidence of these fundamental problems to the executive team and repeatedly sounded the alarm of the real risks associated with them, and these were problems brought to me by the engineers and employees of the company themselves, the executive team chose instead to mislead its board, shareholders, lawmakers, and the public instead of addressing them. This leads to two obvious questions. Why did they do that? And what were the problems and vulnerabilities identified? And that's what I'm here to talk about. So first, why did they do that? To put it bluntly, Twitter leadership ignored its engineers because key parts of leadership lacked the competency to understand the scope of the problem, but more importantly, their executive incentives led them to prioritize profits over security. Upton Sinclair famously said, "It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it." This mentality is exactly what I saw at the executive level at Twitter.
I just want to mention that's one of my favorite all-time quotes, that Upton Sinclair thing. And it's also a quote that was famously used by Al Gore in An Inconvenient Truth, which is kind of funny that I did a callback to that. I didn't even remember that he had used this that phrase, but that's pretty telling. It's pretty. It's a quote from Upton Sinclair about it's difficult to get a man to understand something if his salary depends on his not understanding it. But there's an hour. Gotcha. There's a little under 2 minutes left. I'm gonna show that, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about this and continue the article, which is really interesting about like who he's tied to and where he's coming from and who's funding him. So what a surprise!
Coolio.
Probably not Coolio.
So what are the problems I discovered? Two basic issues. First, they don't know what data they have, where it lives, or where it came from, and so, unsurprisingly, they can't protect it. And this leads to the second problem, which is the employees then have to have too much access to too much data and to too many systems. You can think of it this way, which is it doesn't matter who has keys if you don't have any locks on the doors. And this kind of vulnerability is not in the abstract. It's not far-fetched to say that an employee inside the company could take over the accounts of all of the senators in this room. Given the real harm to users and national security, I determined it was necessary to take on the personal and professional risk to myself and to my family of becoming a whistleblower. I did not make my whistleblower disclosures out of spite or to harm Twitter. Far from that, I continue to believe in the mission of the company and root for its success. But that success can only happen if the privacy and security of Twitter's users and the public are protected. In accepting an executive position at Twitter, I made a personal commitment to Mr. Dorsey, the board, the greater public, and myself that I would drive the changes needed at Twitter to protect the users, the platform, and democracy. That's what I'm continuing to do here today. I stand by the statements I made in my lawful disclosures, and I am here to answer any questions you may have about them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
So that's an interesting statement. I don't think it's terribly a surprise to too many that they've got gaping holes in their security.
Phrasing.
Okay, but here it's Mudge, not is his nickname, by the way. So former security chief again. Now this is in the Associated Press, and we know sometimes they like to frame narratives. But again, what they're saying is that they're vulnerable to exploitation by teenagers, thieves, and spies, and put the privacy of its users at risk. Right? So, at the beginning of the hearing, it wasn't clear exactly what Zatko, who was fired by Twitter, was trying to accomplish. Then he opined that the FTC and SEC did not have the necessary capacity to oversee big tech. Go to your humble correspondent. This translates as a call to staff up big government as regulatory bodies, right? That portion of the testimony, coupled with his team's targeted leaks to the likes of CNN and the Washington Post, coupled with the strange reality of a whistleblower being celebrated by a bipartisan Congress, is certainly cause for suspicion. I hope you got red flags going off on your side.
Just big, giant air quotes.
Yeah. So Zatko and his handlers, again, this is from Wired Magazine. It says the recipients were the Washington Post and CNN, and their stories went live under a shared embargo on August 23rd. He gave interviews to both organizations, which treated him lovingly. The Post photographer even captured an artsy shot of him in his mirror reflection, full of Oracle vibes. Ugh. So I did a little bit of research into the organization handling Mr. Mudge. He's being represented by a media relations and legal team from a nonprofit called Whistleblower Aid, which represents itself as an outfit that seeks to supply attorneys to whistleblowers from both government and the private sector to, quote, protect us from law breaking that we may never learn about. This is the same organization that represented Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen, who also didn't pass the whistleblower smell test. Haugen, like Mudge, is paradoxically blowing the whistle to government and against a private entity. Like Mudge, she advanced an implicit statist agenda. Following her testimony, Haugen commenced a speaking tour that was funded by a who's who of left-wing billionaires, including George Soros' Open Society Foundations. Again, this is not a dog whistle against Soros, but every time anything like this shows up, Open Society seems to have its ugly head somewhere close by. So, here's the person, the sum of us, and this is really interesting. You have a question for a famous whistleblower, Frances Haugen. Okay, this is an organization that is linked and that put on an organization, that put on a thing. So, now here's where things get really diabolical. Whistleblower Aid played a key role in the first impeachment of Donald Trump. Didn't that have to do with like Ukraine stuff? Yep. So, this goes back again, March 4th. We're proud to have represented the whistleblower who spoke out against Trump's inappropriate efforts to withhold assistance from Ukraine. Yep. All right. Again, this was from Rolling Stone. Oof. So.
I remember that.
Right?
Yes.
Me too.
Yep.
It was one of the most significant whistleblower disclosures in American history, and we couldn't be more proud of our work in the case. Watch the behind-the-scenes story of how W. Baidlaws and Andrew Bakaj and Mark Zaid ESQ assisted the Ukraine whistleblower, right? So this is from WBAID Law, Whistleblower Aid Law. Whistleblower Aid provided both counsel and media relations work to an anonymous intelligence community employee who's been identified by Congress as CIA official Eric Ciamarella, who alleged that President Trump pressured the Ukrainian government to accept a quid pro quo and launch an investigation of Joe and Hunter Biden. If you're a news junkie, surely you know the ins and outs of this story, right? But if you don't, here's a short summary. Much of the alleged quid pro quo scandal was based on hearsay, sourced to a phone call between Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. No evidence surfaced of any monetary payment or governmental policy that supported the allegations. Okay. The transcript of the phone call between Trump and Zelensky was eventually released, and it did not show anything particularly scandalous or abnormal. Zero evidence ever emerged back to the claims sourced to Ciamarella. But despite these shortcomings, Congress found the votes to impeach Trump over the manufactured scandal. So, who's the tech billionaire helping the Facebook whistleblower take on one of the world's most powerful companies? Pierre Omidyar. Our friend Pierre. We've covered him before.
A PayPal guy.
He is part of the PayPal Mafia eBay founder. So he was actually like one of the... He was the granddaddy of them all because it was his platform that even facilitated the need for PayPal in the first place. And then he created PayPal. And he sat on the board of PayPal. So, this was a Glenn Greenwald article from more than a year ago talking about Pierre Omidyar's financing of the Facebook whistleblower campaign. Reveals a great deal. And I'm not going to go into this, and you can certainly read the Glenn article. I'll link to the Jordan Schachtel article for the dossier in the show notes and in the Substack afterwards. But beyond Ciamarella, Whistleblower Aid has represented countless additional whistleblowers, such as the Vinbin twins, who of course accused the former president of a variety of unproven misdeeds. Whistleblower Aid is backed by Pierre Omidyar, a statist ideologue whose doctrine advocates for a technocratic tyranny in the form of stakeholder capitalism. He's a major Democratic Party donor. Omidyar is also known in politics as the money man behind countless Never Trump campaigns. What a shock. He's also behind the Maidan coup, but that's another story. Here's an article from 2020 where he's a longtime donor to leftist causes and in the same league as Steyer, Soros, and Bloomberg. And he's got TDS. So is the outfit behind the Ukraine collusion hoax funded by a far-left mega-donor really representing authentic whistleblowers, or is something more nefarious in the works? And that is the end of this piece, and he's asking questions and pointing out his observations. And, hey, who is that guy? Hey, that's a big mad crab dude. Hey, what's up, crab? Welcome to, how did we miss that? Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for the thumbnails and all that stuff. I actually grabbed the Pierre look for the...
Who are these people?
Oh, wait. I remember. Well, since Warren's here, we do a kid even.
Who are these people?
Yes, we have her too.
Jesus. Just hit all the soundboard buttons.
I could, but I'm just not going to.
In a row. Yep. You were like, oh yeah, soundboards. Beep, bop, boop.
Right, we have sounds. Sounds. Yes. So what's up, Anthony Malecki, Colin, Valerie, Lazy Quackhole, whoever that is. That's awesome. Twitter is trash. Unfortunately, yes. We've been trying to get people to go over to Telegram and do private chats in Telegram instead of Twitter. It's just nobody wants to use it. It sucks. I'd much rather do DMs off of Twitter's prying eyes, but People just don't seem to want to do that. Using Twitter, it's like wrestling a midget. That's great. Okay. Here saying Mudge, don't fudge. And Warren.
It does sound like a Dr. Seuss villain.
Yes. The Mudge, don't fudge. Kitty. There we go. What's up, Warren? Good to see Warren. Shout out to Extra Booyah. Congrats on 1,000 Rockfin followers for Extra Booyah. 2,000 for Tara. We're getting real close to 2,000 ourselves. So go to rockfin.com/INDLeftNews. rockfin.com/INDLeftNews. You can follow for free if you want to sign up for the premium platform. Now, here's the thing. I saw a thing today in my work Slack that YouTube is now forcing 5 to 10 ads, not 5 to 10 seconds, but 5 to 10 ads prior to watching a video. And that means they're trying to push people to a premium. And that means that Rockfin is that much more valuable now because it is ad-free. And that's one of the things that I love most about Rockfin, on top of the fact that they don't censor people. Human Love, Solidarity, welcome. E. Heller, you're still here. Tastes like mud. Looks like fudge. It's Mudge. Yep, that's good. So, all right, yeah, we missed Tara. Tara will be back soon. She's just taking a little bit of a vacation break. She's been going hard for 6 months. Come on, I mean, she put out, I think, about 25 or 30 different live streams, and we've got about 50 clips, I think, that are still unpublished that we still have yet to release from her stream. So we've got a lot of material and content for her, and I'm sure she'll be back doing live streams Mondays, Tuesday nights soon on INN and on her channels. And shout out to Tara. You know, she had to deal with some wildfire stuff herself last week. Thankfully, everybody's okay, and nothing was really too bad. But I think she might have even had to evacuate. But it was pretty brutal. All right, we got one more story, and then we can do boats. All right. Actually, 1.5 more stories, because we're gonna also shout out some more of Krev's awesome artwork. But first, we're gonna talk about Portland, Maine. And this is a little bit of a long article from Donnie over at Sludge. And it showed up in Truthout. David Moore, not Donnie, David Moore's partner, co-founder of Sludge. Sludge is a great independent outlet. They follow the money, and I love people that follow the money. And one of the things that we talk about is getting the money out of politics. How do we get the money out of politics? Well, the other thing we talk about is politics is local. So how do we start doing that? We start doing that at our local levels. And so David talked about with campaigns. Oh, so hang on, let me back up. And I didn't even read the headline, but the headline is Maine's biggest city will vote on public campaign financing measure. Well, that's cool, right? So with campaign spending on the rise in their city's elections, voters in Portland, Maine will decide this November on a ballot question that aims to level the playing field for local office seekers. About time. The ballot question, called Clean Elections, would create a voluntary public campaign financing program for candidates running for municipal office in Portland, one similar to a well-established program offered to candidates for state office in Maine. If approved, the Clean Elections program would make Portland the first municipality in Maine to offer public funding for candidates. The measure would also ban all candidates from taking corporate contributions, prohibit entities under foreign influence from making expenditures related to ballot questions, and enhance transparency of campaign contribution information. It's all very good stuff.
Well, to back up, prohibit foreign.
Yes.
Foreign influence.
Yes.
That's a little weird.
I guess.
Like Russia, I imagine.
I was also thinking like multinational corporations not based in the United States, even.
That too, but
like Airbus, for example.
That would also
not like the town of Portland's going to buy an Airbus, but. So, the Clean Elections Initiative was approved to appear on the ballot on July 11th by the Portland Charter Commission, a body created in 2020 to review the changes to the city charter. The initiative then received the green light to appear on the ballot on September 1st from the City Council. The campaign backing the measure, Fair Elections Portland, says it will put power back in the hands of the people. Well, we like that. and empower elected officials to represent the people who elected them rather than special interests. Like that. Though the U.S. Census estimated Portland's population at about 67,000 as of 2020, city elections have become increasingly expensive. I think that's pretty much happening everywhere. But the most recent race for Portland and mayor in 2019 saw record amounts of money, with candidates raising into the six figures and PACs jumping in to back their preferred candidates. Right? Fair Elections Portland, which again is leading the effort on the ballot question, compiled figures showing that overall spending in the 2019 race for mayor was more than double that of the city's 2015 contest, just 4 years earlier. So, and over the past decade, candidate fundraising totals have also grown sharply in elections for Portland at-large council seats, district council seats, and school board races, according to the data from Fair Elections Portland. Somebody's giving money to these guys because it's actually having an effect. So, quote, in 2017, a group of Portland activists started talking about the increasing problem of money in politics at the local level. So this is campaign manager for the Yes on 3 campaign, the clean elections question. That's Anna Keller. Bless her. I mean, that's a lot. That's a huge undertaking. I want to get money out of politics locally, and so I'm going to start an initiative. That's like, they got to give awards and medals to people like that. What had always been low-key, local elections were becoming much more hotly contested and high spending, and with all the concerns that go along, could ordinary people afford to run? What kind of influence was it buying over local officials? And yes, it changes the conversation. So, with that problem, we were lucky to have a solution right in front of us. We already had a strong experience with using a clean election system at the state level. Passed by referendum in 1996, a long-standing and popular program. Candidates for state legislature in the Portland area use it, and there's a high degree of familiarity of it within the city. Okay? Decision was made to head a charter amendment for clean elections program. All good stuff. So this takes time. Again, in Maine, a voluntary public funding system for participating candidates for all state offices was passed by voters in 1996 as the Maine Clean Elections Act and strengthened by referendum in 2015. The program requires candidates to gather a certain amount of $5 contributions from voters in their district in order to qualify, then commit to only spending money they receive from the state while eschewing all private funding. They're giving up all private funding.
Yeah.
Well, look, this is city council. Like, you should not be taking money from local private interests and corporations to kowtow to what they're going to do and look at and do that over the best interests of the people that you represent. Starting at the local level and moving up to the state and federal level. From 2016 to 2020 election cycles, 55% of state candidates participated in that grants program, according to March 2021 report for the group Democracy Maine. That's pretty remarkable. The report also shows that as of the 2020 election, public funding has grown to become the largest share of the state campaign spending after having been dominated by privately raised funding as recently as 2016. This is working. It's getting the money out. The private money. At its peak, up to 85% of the legislature used clean elections, according to Andrew Bossi, and he's the former executive director of MCCE, with 7 out of 10 women in office, saying that having a public financing option was very important to their decision to run. So again, it's inclusive. It's bringing in voices that would not ordinarily be able to run because they'd be priced out of the market. In Portland, Clean Elections Program, proposed to start in 2023 and 24 elections, would, similar to the state system, issue funding to participating candidates who prove support from Portland residents, abide by limits on private contributions, and agree to take part in at least one public debate, among other things. I think that's awesome. As with the other public campaign financing programs in states and cities, the city clerk's office would create a searchable online database of all campaign finance information. Transparency, how about that? Any unused funds in Portland's system would be returned to the Clean Elections Fund. Sounds reasonable. A cost estimate, ready for this one, prepared by the Charter Committee, placed the per cycle total of the whole program at about $290,000 an amount substantially less than candidates had been raising for mayor, even before including fundraising for city council and school board positions. I mean, this makes so much sense. In addition, the clean elections question would require the city to adopt rules that ban corporate contributions to municipal candidates for office and prohibit foreign entities from spending on ballot questions, whether by contributing to campaigns or by making direct expenditures. Now, the other thing I was thinking about on that foreign entities thing, if you remember, Foxconn bought out a town in North Carolina and then started to like change the laws or lobby to have the laws changed. I believe they also bought the factory in Ohio that used to be the Lordstown Motors plant, and it might still be the Lordstown Motors plant, but it's now owned by a Chinese manufacturer. They also did that in Wisconsin. And when you start doing that and foreign companies buying major influence in these smaller municipalities, they start to push for more influence at the local level, whether that is in the best interest of the community or not. So in June of last year, the Maine legislature passed the Maine legislature passed and the governor signed a bill prohibiting corporate contributions to candidates joining 23 other states and the federal government in the prohibition. We're starting to get the money out, like for real. Companies may still establish separate segregated fund committees or PACs and allow PACs to use their telephones and computers. Okay, that's not good. It's a start. And there's a lot, and talking about how the long path to the ballot, how long this path was. The clean elections question will appear on the November ballot after a delay of several years spent navigating legal questions. In the summer of 2019, organizations, including the League of Women Voters of Maine and Maine Citizens for Clean Elections, gathered enough signatures to place a clean elections question on the ballot, with over 8,000 signatures from Portland residents, right? In September 2019, however, the City Council voted to prevent the Citizens Initiative from appearing on the ballot, mounting an argument that the initiative would instead require a lengthier charter revision process, a decision that triggered years of legal challenges from advocates, right? Keller says that in 2019, the coalition reached formidable signature threshold with volunteer efforts across the city, a, quote, combination of door-to-door, street corners, and farmers markets and community meetings. One campaign volunteer led outreach in Portland's South Sudanese community. Another brought clean elections petitions to Portland arts and music venues. In the summer of 2020, the city put out a call for a charter commission, a process that Keller said opened up another path to the clean elections initiative to be approved to reach the ballot. She says that Fair Elections Portland groups work closely with commissioners, 3 appointed by the city council, 9 elected by voters, in reviewing the municipal proposal in light of the state's public financing system. Right? So this is now, they're looking at this from an economic standpoint. The Maine Commission on Governmental Ethics submitted a memo in September 2021, right, to the city's charter commission on best practices for administering a campaign finance program that included guidelines on auditing and bookkeeping. That's super important. How are you going to keep it clean? Because it would approve an amendment to the city charter, Keller said the initiative would provide dedicated funding for the program, insulating the clean elections program from the risk of funding being stripped by the city council from year to year. That is super important. They could not have to be threat. They could not, exist under threat. Quote, after being caught up in the process since 2019, this ballot question is a return to the core issue, the cost of running for office. Let's talk about the problem of money in politics and how clean elections can fix that. People need to know that they have the opportunity to turn out and vote for something really positive that they already support in the state. But not just in Portland, Maine, also this year, voters in Oakland, California will decide on a ballot measure that would create a public campaign financing option called Democracy Dollars for city candidates, a program similarly designed to increase participation in local politics and enable candidates from a wider variety of backgrounds to mount competitive campaigns for office. Public financing of elections is what we've always pushed towards, and getting the private money out.
For sure.
And these are substantial steps that I see actually happening. From grassroots,
the one country that seems to have politicians like fully supporting Assange, Australia, also has it. Public funding of elections, yes?
Yes. Well,
or it used to.
I think most countries, I know England, for example, bans private financing of elections. However, we found out that members of parliament are actually moonlighting and lobbying, moonlighting as employees of private corporations, which is probably pretty bad.
Yeah, and getting salary.
Yep. So, again, I'm so happy that we've got some public financing of elections happening, even at a local or municipal level. I think it's important, and Maine has always been on the forefront. They just recently implemented, I remember, ranked choice voting as well. I want to just go back to the chat real quick. There really wasn't very much during this segment, but before we get to votes, our friend Misty, on October 8th, and it's only, I believe, 3 weeks away. Would you believe? Holy crap, it's only 3 weeks away. Is organizing an incredible event that's going to take place in front of the Justice Department at 950 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest in Washington, D.C. It is a Saturday. It's happening from noon to 2. I think it might now be from noon to 3 because of the number of speakers that have already volunteered to attend. And it is an impressive and formidable lineup already, and there will be more speakers announced. Now, a Willie Bragg Show, welcome, man. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the show, and appreciate the follow, and good to connect with you. I know Lucy says some good stuff, and I've heard some good stuff about you before. We've been in some Facebook groups and some other stuff over the years, so glad you're here, man. Shout out to Twitch. So, yes. So, I'm going to go through the list. Now, shout out again to our friend Big Bad Crab, the creative director for INN, for making these graphics for this event, for Misty, and for Action for Assange, and for the Assange events worldwide. So it's not just happening in DC, by the way. This is a companion event to a human chain being formed around Parliament in the UK, and solidarity events happening all over the world on October 8th. We are fully in support of this effort. And again, we mentioned, and we kind of ripped the cover off this one, Yo Ben Cohen, former co-founder of Ben & Jerry's. He will be there. Again, it is now from noon to 3. So you can see that was updated. Okay. Randy Credico.
Get Nancy to show up.
Live on the fly. Would we get Nancy to show up better than anything?
I enjoy it.
No, I don't think you would enjoy that.
I like it better than anything else.
I don't believe that either.
I mean, Ben & Jerry's.
No, we know she likes Jenny's ice cream. So Reverend Annie Chambers.
Oh.
He'll be there. Okay. Dave DeCamp, our friend from antiwar.com. We've covered some of his articles. Friend of the network, friend of the show. And then we've got John Kiriakou. He's the former CIA whistleblower, journalist. He works for Sputnik now. We've got Eliza Blue, human trafficking survivor, and she also is advocate for free press. She now works for The Blaze. And we've got Marsha Coleman Adebayo. She's a former senior policy analyst and whistleblower for the EPA. We've got James Bovard from the USA Today. We've got Joe Loria from Consortium News. Love that guy. Garland Nixon, friend of the show, friend of the network. Shout out to Garland Nixon. Good man. Steve Donziger. We know this guy. Activist, writer, again, speaker for human rights. This is great. These are awesome graphics, by the way, Greg. We've got Jill Stein. A lot of people know her. Hillary Clinton certainly knows who she is. And we've got Chris Hedges. Yes, Chris Hedges, the legend, will be appearing as well and speaking in front of the Justice Department on October 8th. So if you are there, be there. Please support this amazing effort. There is a GoFundMe. If you go to Misty's Twitter page, twitter.com/sarcasmstardust, I'm sure she has a pinned tweet, or you can find one pretty high up without scrolling down pretty far to find the GoFundMe link. We've donated. We're contributors, and again, we're free Julian Assange, free Julian Assange right fucking now, because he did this for all of us, and he should not be sitting in Belmarsh.
Jesus.
In some ways, he
died for your sins.
Well, he's sitting there for all of us to have a free press. So he, unfortunately, and I hate putting that kind of deification on anybody, but damn, man, this is good stuff. So these are the links.
Oh crap!
What?
Brian.
What?
Of Nazareth.
Oh. So here's all the links. Everybody knows them. IndieLeft.news and independentleft.news and IndieLeft.com. They all go to the main website. IndependentLeft.media. That's our link tree. You get all of our links, all of our channels, everywhere from there. Leftist.today. That's our Substack. I put that out. Try to put one out every day. Some days I miss. Most days it is a 6-pack where I embed 6 different videos that you can watch from across the independent media sphere that are actually the top 6 videos featured that day on IndependentLeft.news. It's also live stream alerts and Friends of Indie Left alerts and the home of the Friends of Indie Left podcast. So Substack is pretty important at leftist.today and leftisttoday.com. We do have the Bongfather shop at the bongfather.cloud. So you can get your Bongfather merch over there, your t-shirts, your flip-flops. My kids are begging me right now. Actually, thanks, Reef, for an INN set of flip-flops because there is an Indie News Network store. Also, an IndieNews.Network is where, again, all of us are members. We are members, 23 members, and several of them are hanging out in this chat right now. Big Bad Crab, Shuts Fuck Up with Shitlid Joe, Big Warren, Uncle Warren, Colin, Radix Carter's over here. We got Noli D. We got so many people. I can't even name them all. Love to my family, Blue Moon Red Wine, even the ones we haven't heard from lately, like Be the Change and Millennial Splaining. Love you. Good to hear from you. Hope we see you back soon. But I think I'm just about done with what I've got going on here. So let's go back to a 2-shot. And from the 2-shot, hey everybody. All right. Yeah, damn. Crab is getting better. And shout out to Joe and Crab from getting retweets from Jimmy Dore pretty quick this week. They've been pretty good at that. But I think I'm ready to get some eye bleach right here. So.
And I watch mindless shit, boats that smash into other boats.
It's the Reef Show. The Reef Show. We need some theme music.
What's up, everybody? Do we? I mean, I got to get theme music for Reefer After Dark too,
and for Late Night with Oz.
Yes, sir. But this show called Boats. Hi, there's a boat. Look at that.
Oh boy, is it gonna smash?
On brand and everything.
Please. There's a doggy on there.
This was just a cute boat.
There's a doggy. Is this supposed to have sound?
Yes, it is. God, every time.
Now I hear it. That's a pretty good horn. Pretty good foghorn.
That's good. I like that. Those sea poppers. When you're really high, so you go on mute and the homies ask if you're all right. Yeah.
That was like me on Discord like 6 times this week.
Me too. I got some dabs and they hurt real good.
Oh my god.
They hurt real good.
Yeah, he had to take his shirt off. He was sweating so hard.
I was like, oh, dude, it was bad.
That was shirt off sweating.
I was like,
yeah.
Grandma busted out the Glaucoma 5000.
Nice.
Look at that little guy.
I love it.
What are you supposed to put in the cups? That's what I want to know.
Wine.
You know? Sure, but yeah, but it's a bong, so it would be like tang, I guess. Like,
oh, you can chase you can chase it with some wine, some red wine, red wine.
Sure,
some Blue Moon
tang
red wine,
and vodka. Boone's Farm.
Wait.
The resident boy watching me pack another bowl without cleaning it out first.
Wait.
Like
there's the holes that
I
are
don't
left?
know what this is from.
Oh, it's got to be like Halloween or one of those.
Mm-hmm. What else I got? Oh, we got some Dad Zone.
Oh boy,
we made it.
We had back to school night this week. It was pretty interesting. My kid.
Yeah, you had.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you the story after we watch this one.
You need some Dad Zone. I'll play this and then go let this pupper before they have a conniption.
Say?
Weed is not good for you.
And did you tell them that we have a lot of weed in our house?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah.
Because when I got to your school, the teacher said, I heard you have a lot of weed at your house. Are we growing weed at our house?
Yeah.
A lot of it?
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe show people what you're talking about?
Yeah. This is weed. This stuff.
Grass.
That's the weed you're telling all your teachers about?
That's weed. That's weed. That's weed. That's weed. That's weed. That's weed.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Isn't that nice?
You know, it's really funny because again, she told her teacher, well, my daughter decided to tell her teacher that my wife has a 2-month-old at home and we haven't had a baby in 5 years. So it was kind of interesting when my wife, when teacher said to my wife, wow, you look great for having a baby 2 months ago. My wife said, really? Because I did not know that I did, because that's news to me. It was pretty funny. Yes. That chick's a narc.
That's
totally narking out her dad and sell out. And my kid would totally do the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is why I keep the weed hidden from my kids.
Also, one of the worst compliments you could give.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look great for just having a baby.
Yeah, like
you would look terrible if you were pregnant. Like, you know.
Yeah, how's that supposed? Yeah,
like
exactly. Yes.
If you hadn't had a baby, you would look terrible.
Yeah, well, you just look like a mom, but having a
the
baby, like, wow.
Yeah. When people try to insult me by calling me a stoner, excuse me, I think the word you're searching for is Space Ranger.
Nice.
Like, who voices
that's Tim Allen.
Buzz?
That's Tim Allen.
Tim Allen. Oh. That guy? Yeah. Well, I really wish he had done it in like that voice too the whole time. Space Ranger. Oh, I love that.
Better pigs. Warren saying that this is why he doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
They're future informants of America. Yeah, they're total fucking so-ass.
Future informants. I saw
tell
one.
them
What was
stitches get
there was
stitches.
a meme.
They don't
There was
listen.
a Home Alone thing, right? Where it was like all the CIA using the devices to like in your house to listen to you.
Right.
But it was like the Home Alone kid going like, I'm doing drugs and informing the public and you can't stop me. Like it was fucking great. Anyway, this kid is going places.
That's the size of your body.
What the fuck? I love how she fucking like
mouths it, yeah.
mouths that. You could definitely tell. What the fuck? That's the size of your body.
Yep.
I have some great kid ones today.
Oh boy. Oh no, that kid's going flying.
Dad
I can tell
tried
you
to
right now.
Show him the way.
Somebody's going flying. Oh no, Dad's going flying. Oh yeah, that last step's a
That was definitely the
doozy.
kid's fault.
No,
That was the kid's fault. It was
No.
totally the kid's fault.
that last step was a doozy.
Like no,
Dad.
like the kid sits down. The kid sits down, and then is like in the way, and he's like trying to like dodge him.
Oh, that's a broken
Like,
femur right there. Oh, I did I just hear his leg break against the metal? Oh.
No,
That
it's
sounded
like his
like
hip
pain.
landed, I think.
That sounded like pain.
I made my bed and found a half-eaten stick of butter in it. When I asked my child if she put anything in mommy's bed, she said, I did not put butter in it. The mystery continues. More at 11. Like,
breaking news.
Yeah.
Butter in bed. Child guilty.
The caption on this, did you consider the fact that your child is a psychic?
No.
Did you consider?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
What?
Hey, you did it. Mommy? Yeah. Terrible sandwich, by the way.
Thanks for letting me know.
Really terrible.
Really terrible.
I love it.
Terrible.
You're getting food reviews the minute he gets off the bus. Not even good to see you. Terrible.
Yep. 1 star on Yelp.
Nice. Yep.
You had to deal with a birthday.
We've had to deal with several. And yes, we had a party on Saturday. 17 children. It was fun.
Yeah. Watch this party activity.
Oh, murder.
Oh.
Wait. What was she expecting was going to happen?
She was going to get the candy. It's her birthday. Like, so she's like that fucking, but all these maniacal, like,
hands
children
just tore apart her cake.
Gone. Yeah. Like,
in record time. That's kind of funny. Yes, Yipper, 17 crazy little children between the ages of 5 and 8, all screaming around my house and basement and front yard, and it was chaos. Yes.
Yep. But yeah.
Oh, come
this
on.
One today, some
now we're gonna get in trouble. Now we're gonna get in trouble.
They're cannons. They made sweet little cannons.
That is a military tribute.
What do you want from me?
YouTube, that is a military tribute. I promise you.
It's cannons. They're just making cannons in art class. It's great. They did perfect.
Warren saying pee-pees in chat.
Pee-pees. Like, here we go. This is how good they are at following instructions at that age. So don't blame them.
I want you to pick up that rock right there. Right there. Oh, no, turn around. Stop. Walk forward 2 steps. 1, 2. Stop. Turn to your right.
Oh, you're the
left.
right.
To your right. Stop right there. Keep going. Walk forward. Walk forward. Come towards me. Come here. No, walk this way.
I love that. This is
going,
the best.
Keep going. Stop. Stop. Okay, which way's right? Nope. Other way.
Nope.
Okay. See that rock right there on the ground? Look down. See, now look up just a little bit. Right there. No, look down. No, pick up the rock on the ground. Like the biggest rock around. It's right by your left. No, behind you. The other rock. Turn around. Nope, the other rock.
Oh, this is so angry.
Ransom.
This is so frustrating.
Ransom, turn around.
Ransom, his name is Ransom. No.
Ransom. Come towards Dad. Keep coming.
Is he going to step on it?
Bend down. It's that rock right on the ground. To your right. Nope, your other right.
Other right. Other side. Other side.
Turn the other way. Look down.
You
That big
asshole.
rock right there. That one. Yeah, that one. No, look down. That one right between you. Yeah, it's your foot's on it. Pick that one up. Yes!
Oh, the struggle is real. I can finally breathe. Oh shit, Yipper, That's Flint water for you. Oh, that's just cold-hearted.
That's fucked up.
Thank you.
Oh God.
We lose restream shot.
I mean, that guy was persistent.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's up on this screen.
There we go.
I forgot this had music and it autoplayed. There we go. I think I do need to control music on this one. Here. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh! Like,
oh, where's that kid gonna land? And on what part of his anatomy? That's face first. Oh, that's face first.
Yeah, like that's just to flat.
Woo!
Like, I hope there's like something to catch him there.
Yes, Yipper, you're right. That was a very good father. He did not give up. He was not angry. I would definitely not have had that kind of patience. Especially if I name a kid Ransom.
Sorry.
Ransom?
Yeah, Ransom. That is a good name. Like, my son has recently informed me the wall people who always have their eyes open don't like us anymore. Just curious if anyone is free tonight to help me move out.
I would guess that those are the pictures.
That's not creepy.
Those are the pictures, but
the wall people who always have their eyes open.
I hope so.
Don't like us anymore. What? Here we go.
Yes, wall people.
This is a brilliant channel.
What's my bedtime? 8:30.
What do you wish your bedtime
therapy.
was?
Mommy, what do I wish my bedtime is? Oh, shucks.
What? How late would you stay up?
14 minutes.
Stay up a whole more 14 minutes?
Of course, I don't need to go to bed. I just can stay up for 2,000 minutes.
How many minutes do you
It sounds
stay
like
up?
Caleb.
3?
What's
Ava
the
all the
longest
time.
you ever
2000.
This the minute.
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would happen if you stayed up for 4 minutes?
I would be hungry. And I'm gonna eat chips all day.
Yeah.
That is definitely my oldest right there. Straight up. Every single thing she said, my oldest would totally say. She would love to eat chips all day.
Yeah, chips. Look at this one. Oh, Dad is home. Watch, I love it. And tippy tap, tippy tap, tippy tap, tippy tap. Like getting those tippy taps in, son. Like
that's cool.
That was just cute. Oh, this one's also cute. Little demons.
I'm gonna bite you. I'm gonna bite you. Don't you after me.
Ooh, almost got him. He almost got him though. Oh, I almost got him.
Oh my god, dude, that dog is awesome.
Like
that must be a shepherd. Yeah, only a shepherd's that smart. Smarter than a kid.
Yep. Like I love this. Like, look at him run after, just like like
where's that kid getting him?
Kid's gonna do that. Kid's going far, man. Are you kidding me? Like fucking defensive end for somebody. Jesus. Nobody, Patrick.
Relax.
Guy. Sorry, I just had to bless myself.
Ooh, so pretty. Too hot.
You cannot get cuter than that.
Oh.
That is a 10.
Overload.
Like It's like, oh, we gotta hold hands.
Oh.
We're cute little furry babies and we hold hands.
Oh.
That's how they sleep. That is how they sleep. With a little rock on their tum-tum. You know? That's how they do it. On kelp beds. That is the life you want to live. You know?
No. Sorry.
No?
No.
Just chilling.
Oh, Warren, guess which
Who's
one
that
is
there?
just like the other one? Oh, Warren.
Oh,
Warren.
Oh.
Ouch. Ouch, that hurt.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh.
but all right, what do we got?
Yeah. I mean, it might have warranted this. That might have been.
Okay, that is a creepy face.
Look,
dude, look at that beard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's me. It's me as a spider.
Oh
Hello.
my god.
How are you?
I think it's actually Yeti.
Yeti?
It might
Yeti
actually.
spider?
I think it kind of looks a little like Yeti.
Spider Yeti. Got that white beard.
Yes, he does.
Oh. Oh, it could even be Warren when he's got that beard.
It could be. It is.
I miss winter,
getting,
Warren.
It is getting back to cooler seasons, so I'm expecting that we're going to see some facial lettuce out of Warren soon.
Winter Warren is legit. You know,
he's got crazy eyes when he's got his winter.
Like he's like the winter GI Joe. He's, you know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
You go all white. Anyway, look at this good boy. Oh, he's a good boy.
Oh, I remember this one. Did we do this last week? Or you showed this to me somewhere else?
Oh, you might have saw it on Twitter. And then I got a wipe, and then I'm good. Like, I got water, and then I got wipe.
I got my drool. I got my drool catcher.
And then I'm good.
I got my drool catcher because everybody knows I drool like a mofo.
Ooh. Yep, especially when I drink waters. Yeah, that's. Remember to hydrate yourself, children. No, I got the marble mouth. You gave it to me. How'd that happen?
See?
Full screen. Sound. Lights. Action.
Woo! Flying squirrel.
Oh,
he's hanging on. He's hanging on. He's not going to hang on much longer. Momentum will take him. Wow. He's not going to do well.
Right around, baby.
That's what I was waiting for.
Oh, I know, right? Whee! All right, here we go. And action.
Oh, poor boy.
Poor puppers.
Wow, that thing is still shaking.
It's the scream. Ah. Like, why you got that yell?
Screaming.
I know. So pretty much he hates all trash cans.
You little bitch, stay down. Essentially, if I'm on a walk and I see a trash can, I just lose it. Oh, fuck! You're over there talking shit. Not my cul-de-sac trash can, motherfucker. Get your ass down here. Fuck you.
Nice.
Yeah. In life, you know, I've always hated trash cans.
Yeah, fuck them.
Ever since I can remember. You know,
okay.
Maybe stemmed from something in my childhood. Who's to
Well, at least
say,
you're trying to figure it out.
What was the question?
It was about you and the trash cans. This might be trying to deflect right now. But you know. What? Well, if only he had learned moves from this guy.
Oh,
is obviously Kung Fu Panda.
I'm gonna fuck up that bamboo.
Move.
I'm gonna fuck up that bamboo.
Oh,
I'm gonna get it.
Looks like DC.
I'm gonna get it.
It's like UFC fucking 192. Like, I'm guessing. I don't know if DC was on that card.
That's what that Gecko gets for all those Geico commercials. That's right.
Yep.
Oh.
God.
Oh. Adorable.
How do those things not make more babies? God. You know? They have the ideal body type.
Yes.
Did I tell you I was voted best body in high school?
Oh, I'm not going anywhere near that.
That's right. I'm just saying. I was voted.
I'm not going anywhere near that.
I will get my yearbook out.
Wow. Serpentine. Damn, kitty. That's right, Uncle Warren. Here even when he's not.
Damn, nature. You scurry. I got to get that on the soundboard too. There's so much to add to the soundboard.
Really?
My cousin's cat ate a wasp and I cannot breathe. Look at him. Look at the boy. Like,
where's the wasp? I'm kidding.
He ate it. He ate that wasp.
Yes. Yes.
But like this fucking chonk face boy. Like why he do that? He swell up all weird like and whatnot. Oh, we made it out of Pet Zone. We made it. And action.
Babe,
Yes.
would you still love me if I was a tank?
Well, that depends on what tank you were. I mean, you could be a Leopard 2A7, a Tiger, a Bulldog, a Chieftain, a T-34,
Okay,
a KV-1.
the first one. The first one.
Okay. So let's say you were a Leopard 2A7. I would ask you to marry me.
Does that mean you want to marry me?
Are you a Leopard 2A7?
Are you?
Well,
no. Well then,
that's cold-hearted shit right there.
Like what the fuck?
That's cold-hearted shit right there.
That's fucking great.
Ouch.
Are you?
Yeah. Okay. What? Okay, so here's a funny story. We went to the Rainforest Cafe yesterday for my son's birthday, and my daughter freaked out over the mechanical elephants. And go.
Okay. Whee!
He's going down a slide.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep, send that to her. Then she won't be scared of them anymore.
Oh, yeah, she'll still be scared
She might
of them.
still be afraid of the animatronic ones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It was staring at her. Oh. Why? Oh, meat.
Yes!
That's why.
This is Andrew Zigman's dream.
Yes! Yes! I'm wall-to-wall raccoons. You ready? Let's go.
Look at all the trash pandas.
Oh my god.
Aren't they,
This is crazy.
yes. Where the
Look
fuck
at
are
those
they?
little hamburglers.
Look at how fat these fuckers are.
I don't know where they all come
Look at how fat they
my
all are. My God.
Yeah, they all
Dude,
love
they
me.
They're like little bears.
'Cause
They
I
must
got
live
the
near a
food.
restaurant. Oh my God. How many? Is that hot
Yep,
dogs?
I got Buddy hanging off me. Yeah. Here you go. Ready? Here you go.
Yeah, I'm not even going to wait. I'm just going to stick my nose in there and take one. Thank
There you
you.
go.
I mean,
Holy
they're
shit.
being pretty chill.
Dude, he's
Like
giving
for
them
that
meat.
much, like
He's giving them free meat without struggle.
Yeah,
yes.
but they're like it's. I've seen Catholic communion crazier than this. You know, like it's just like, please, sir, thank you, sir. I'm nums. Like that's it. Like
yes.
You know.
Yes.
Like, how long does it take them to like?
Go. Ready? Here you go. There you go.
How many wieners was that?
Dude.
Like.
That's a wiener fest right there.
A wiener schnitzel. Yeah. Speaking of wiener schnitzel, how close is this? How close was that?
That was not far.
Oh, meow.
Oh,
meow. Why? Why was that done? Goddamn kids
that
and
was
their
not done
flying
on purpose.
machines.
That was not done on purpose. I promise you.
Look who it is. Look who it is.
Who?
It's Officer Krupski.
Okay.
Look.
You guys promise not to get mad at me, huh?
You'll promise not to get mad at me, huh?
Yeah. Nice. Hey, Cam. Yes. I love
Isn't
it.
that funnies?
Dude, it's a
Isn't that
self-portrait.
good? Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they deserve, that's like one of those caricature guys. Like,
right?
So this is why they deserve every bit of that. Oklahoma inmate forced to listen to baby shark on a loop found dead.
Oh, come on. It's bad, but it's not that bad. Really?
I mean,
like found dead.
I mean, obviously you have Stockholm syndrome to your children, but you know.
No, I just learned to tune it all out.
So, have you seen this? Canadian police dog gets titanium teeth.
Oh God.
We are thinking of our boy Jammer today. It could also been
Is this
Ransom.
like Wolverine?
You know,
is his nickname Wolverine?
Well, that's the next step. They didn't quite have the funding for adamantium, but they're working on it.
Titanium. Jesus.
They're trying to get some unobtainium. I'm going deep here.
That Iron Man?
But no, that's vibranium. But that's also Wakanda. It's another white guy stealing. But that's also Captain America's shield. Ironically, the guy most American is based off a thing that. Anyway, so Jammer is now the proud owner of 4 titanium teeth.
Show me.
We look forward to seeing you back on the road soon, Jammer.
Oh, those aren't too frightening now.
No. Like,
have you seen this boy?
Is there not a Jaws? Like, this is like the next fucking Bond villain. Like, didn't Up already have this as a villain?
Weapon K9, not Weapon X yet. Oh, good one, Rick. Rick Solis with that one.
I'm surprised they just haven't installed this on the Robo Dogs. You know? It seems like a great addition.
Sure.
So this is their excuse. Jammer update. Earlier this week, this bad page boasted about our police service dog Jammer. This post caused some confusion and misunderstanding. We would like to take some time to explain more about Jammer. Recently, during a routine visit to the veterinarian, it was learned that Jammer had several cracks in the enamels of his teeth. Left untreated, this could cause infection, which could be fatal. To ensure Jammer's health, His veterinarian recommended he receive crowns on the cracked teeth.
Stop.
This
freeze. Half of America can't afford a fucking crown. But we're putting titanium crowns on this motherfucking dog? Alright, continue.
Yeah, hold up.
Continue.
So, to ensure Jammer's health, his veterinarian recommended he receive crowns on his cracked teeth. This is a procedure similar to what your dentist would do. Jammer's crowns are similar to his original in size and shape. This procedure was not done for vanity or to cause harm. It was done for Jammer's comfort and health. We apologize for any misunderstanding and confusion our original terrifying boast may have caused.
Robot teeth.
Please don't panic. Love, the police.
Yeah, no, not love the police. Fuck the police.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Jammer ready for Mad Max times. Yes, Warren. Jammer is ready for Mad Max.
Pretty much. Oh my God. That's totally a Mad Max. That's definitely a Mad Max guy would have a dog with like metal teeth for sure. Like Tina Turner would order him around. Like,
Right.
So, I just figured I'd give Warren some like just so people know how crazy New York is.
Okay.
Like what?
What the? Nah, bro. I swear.
Nah, bro. Also Tony Ferguson here. Like, I guess
choke your ass out.
Pretty much. So, I'm not sure if this is smart or dumb.
Is modern problems require modern solutions.
Yes, exactly.
As Dave Chappelle reminded us a long time ago. It's actually kind of
Ronco, we implore you to use some plastic thing
ingenious
to surround your perfectly good, you know. But I mean, if you don't want to wash with the water.
Well, wait a minute. That is the food equivalent of the slipcover over grandma's couch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yes, sir. I guess you could reuse the bags, but what fun is that? Or there's probably some non-plastic
I hope she realizes
alternative.
that she has to leave first. Or she's going to be stuck inside.
Sure. Well, this is I believe this is also at least a city. I want to say it's New York because of what happens.
Time to lock up.
We just close the gate and
oh my God.
Don't mind that thing.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, get it off me.
Oh my
get
God.
Get it off me. Get it out.
Oh my God.
Like,
Pizza rat.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a pizza rat. Just walked right up there.
Did he literally run right up her? Wow. At least he didn't go up her pants like the inside. Man.
Yeah, but he definitely goes in the shirt. Like, so.
Milburn Stone.
But.
Pretty good for a special ed show over on Rockfin. Yep.
Yep. Here we go.
Rachel, kill it. Rachel, kill it.
Yeah, Rachel.
Oh my God.
Rachel.
Rachel's got some fucking
You
guns.
broke the wall, Rachel.
Rachel's got some guns.
Does. She broke right through that wall. But she did overcome her fear of spiders. And that's what's important, Karen. God.
Warren's got a good point. It says that you have to wash the bag, so why not just wash the bowl? Going back to the cereal in the plastic bag.
Look, I'm not saying what I'm saying.
You could just rinse that bag, probably. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Oh, no. You're stronger than you think, homie. That thing is not anchored.
He just didn't put enough weight on it.
Not anchored.
Need to go get the sled, bro. Put some plate on that foam. That's probably what happened. He put plates on the foam, right, to like weigh the foam down.
And when it fell underneath, slid out.
It slid out from the plates. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, friction and whatnot.
Science.
But anyway, and action.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Oh no. Who's going flying?
Like nobody. It's just
dancing platforms,
concert, bro.
Dancing platforms.
Yeah, like they're just springy. They're just springy
cool.
platforms. Yeah. We
need to get those over here.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm down for that. Like this is you're gonna like the way you look on this one.
Yo, what the fuck? Yo, what the
Oh, it ends there.
Oh,
it ends there.
Yeah, because you're not
If
going to want to see what
anyone knows the
happens
outcome
next.
of this mystery,
You don't want to see what happens next. Well, first he's going to
send
jail.
it in to 112.
First he's going to jail, but first he slipped and he hurt himself.
I don't think that's first. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't think that's first.
You don't think he first hurts himself?
I think something's gonna happen before he goes to jail.
That's what I mean. They're going to call the cops after they beat the piss out of him and say, "Oh, he slipped and hurt himself after vandalizing our car."
I think. Come on, you're forgetting the main part. Who owns the Lamborghini?
Probably the guy inside.
And how does the justice system work?
Yeah.
Like, this guy's totally gonna get away with whatever happens here.
Oh yes.
Like,
That's what I mean. And the cop's going to say
obviously
the cop's just going to say he fell. That guy fell. That's all.
Right. Yeah, that guy fell.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, he fell.
Yeah. Yep.
He's fucked.
Yep.
Oh no. Somebody's face planting. I know exactly what. I think I've seen this one. And we have a duck like this at our local park exactly the same way. It's great.
Do you?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. You gonna lay it over?
That thing is totally fucking snapping. No? Oh, I kind of wanted to watch it snap and have her go to the ground, but that was fun.
I think it was good. I think she made it out of that. I'm an optimistic individual. This is just called When Monday Catches You.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
Wait, what? Was drinking while driving, running away from your car while drinking, and tripping.
And running away from this police officer here.
Yes. In his underwear.
Who tases him.
Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah, this is
that was
a taser, but
that was not necessary. That was not necessary.
When that song comes on, though.
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
That's
yeah, that's pretty funny.
There's also I saw a video the other day of like, it's like the classic like high school scene of like prom, and they roll out like the wheelchair like lady who gets the prom, like she's the prom queen, right? Like they get and then it's like the DJ like cuts to that song, like and it's fucking terrible. Anyway, like what the fuck?
Oh boy.
Anyway.
Oh no.
So Daughter goes through her father's phone. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
This is
incredible.
Do you want to see what he's been searching?
No.
Yeah.
Randy, don't do that. No!
Oh.
Fuck your couch part 2.
No.
Oh.
Good choice, sir.
Oh, hell no. That ain't my shit.
What is that?
This is a woman having some fun.
God damn it. How did they find that?
How did they find
Bro,
that?
it's called private browser. Learn about it.
You think private browser would be a kernel by now?
Private? Private browser?
How could you do that to her?
Private browser?
She looked.
Private browser is actually built on a kernel. That's dork tech humor, but that's another story.
Yes, sir. So you realize what happened in the news recently, right? You know?
Did somebody die?
Yes, somebody.
The problem that we're having really is that it's taking about 30 hours for people to get through it, that's just unconscionable. So I think the way that it's running right now is that people are queuing up either side of the coffin, and they're sort of doing their last respects. This is not efficient. We're giving the Queen's got a lot more surface area than we're giving her credit for. We need to get rid of this. So what I'm proposing is that we put the Queen, we mount the Queen to a Kawasaki robotic arm, and we bust out all the windows in Westminster, in the hall, and we move the Queen around on the Kawasaki arm so everyone gets a good view of her. And this way, I mean, the view, it's going to be quick, but you get to see it. This way we can handle about, I think it's 80 mourners per second, so that's pretty good. We can handle the entire country of 67 million people
miles an hour.
within about 3 days. So that's pretty good. That's just in time for the funeral. Let me know what you think. I don't know if we want to get this off the ground, we're probably going to have to start pretty soon.
Yeah, that's
How
great.
fucking great is that?
That's really funny. Yipper likes that too. Yeah, that's messed up. How could you do that to a reef? That's a Yipper sin. Okay, looks like he's got a target. Where's he trying to shoot down to? I shouldn't assume it's a he, but I'm just assuming it's a... Okay. Wow. That's going down real fast. Whoa. Hey, what happened? Hey. Now, parkour. What the fuck? What the fuck happened? Did his chute break?
No, I think it's just he like missed the landing zone. Like he was coming into land or whatever and then like missed it and had to like figure out. You know what I mean? Like I think he was like landing for one of these.
No,
like,
it looked like he was going slow and then all of a sudden like there was like a something and then he just started
like,
moving
see,
fast.
This is the landing zone here. Like
Okay.
this is where he's supposed to land.
Oh, so he overshot his LZ.
He like overshoots.
What?
Like he overshoots and goes in
But
here.
man, he goes fast at the end there. Bam. Ow. Pop.
Yeah.
Ouch. Ouch.
He came in a little hot, as they say, but I think he's good. I think he's all right. He'll be all right.
I think.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'm a doctor. Doctor.
Lazy quackhole. No way I'm ever doing that. Yes, I'm with you. Definitely not.
Yeah. Would you do this though?
Platforms to the gym to get my husband's reaction.
Are you ready?
The water bottle?
Yes, please.
What exercise machine you about to get on, though? Hey, you know what? Those are given, though. Those are given.
You like it?
Those are given. Sprained ankle body.
Those are given sprained ankle. Oh, I love the shoulder shimmy.
The little shoulder laugh.
Oh my
Let's run that
God.
back, Colin, to the shoulder laugh. Let's see that again.
Ankle body.
Anyway, great. I fucking love that shit.
That's great. Holy shit.
Good for you, dog. Oh,
Oh, we saw this.
this
Oh
one's
my God.
Also fabulous.
Okay,
Oh.
look, I did not think y'all was gonna ask for another one of these, but let me find Mom and see if I can make this happen. All right. Hey, Mom. All right, so I got a question.
Okay.
The people want you to laugh again, so I gotta make it happen.
Oh, no.
Hold on, just hear me out. Why are you acting like that?
Because last time?
Wasn't nothing wrong with last time. Look, here's what I just want to hear you get a little bit of a laugh out, because the people want to hear your joy, and you need to share that with the world. Your laugh sounds so delicate. No, there it was. Hold on. What was that? You said
Delicate?
what? Hold on. Delicate laugh one more time.
No.
Hold on.
There's people around.
It's not like an alligator. There's people around. Oh, that's
There's
great.
people around.
Oh, I definitely saw that. Oh, so good. Oh, that is his real mom, and he does laugh like that. That's great.
Yeah, it's fucking fabulous.
Iron Brew in it.
Why would you ask me for the Iron Brew?
Because what would the Crazy Scotsman do if they didn't have any Iron Brew?
What would he do?
Crazy Scotsman.
Ah, you wee ball bag.
Right. No Iron Brew! Let's have a look inside this fridge here, mate. There's no Iron Brew, brother. How the hell have you not got the Iron Brew, lads? No Iron Brew! Are you crazy? I'm sweating. I'm sweating. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. How have you no Iron Brew? How have you got no Iron Brew, lads? No Iron Brew! I got your cucumber, and I don't care about that. I don't care. No Iron Brew. That's all I'm here. I'm out of your life.
Remember when Freddo's used to be 10 pence? Yeah, I know. 25 pence now. What did the Crazy Scotsman think about it?
Right, you wee bastard! Ego! How can you charge 25 pence for that crap? Have you grown now? Do you have a mortgage and 2 kids? You shite man! What the hell are you looking at? You bastard! Who's that right? I'm gonna find you! I'll get you got to bang your face, man! I'll bang your face, man! You bastard! Who's seen Iron Brew? Have you seen Iron Brew? Have you seen Iron Brew? Have you seen the Iron Brew, laddie?
That's creepy.
Oh God.
That's fat
How would the Crazy
bastard.
Scotsman feel about it? Crazy Scotsman.
How can you make that bolt in your fucking shite, man? I just lost all my money. Can you believe that? I'm not having that. I'm not having that. What are you looking at, brother? What are you looking at, brother? I'm not having that, lads. I need to worry about now. I need to worry about now, lads.
Yeah, hack. Have you seen all that Iron Brew?
Oh, the Iron Brew.
Save 70 pence on Iron Brew.
70 pence off Iron Brew? Are you crazy, guys? I'm taking all of that. I'm getting all this shit. You bastard. 70 pence off Iron. I'm taking all this shit. I take it all, brother.
Is that like Sunkiss?
All of this is mine. All of this is mine. Iron Brew. Iron Brew. Let's go, lads. All right, lads. 70 pence off Iron Brew. You guys better buy yourself some now. Iron Brew.
Thanks, darling. Have a nice one, yeah? Take care. Make sure you get your roots sorted out. They're a bit dark.
Final thought.
Listen, you wee bastards. Life's too short to be messing around. You need to live your life. Enjoy your time here on planet Earth. Don't care about people and what they think. But make sure you do something for me, lads. Make sure you like, subscribe, and you share, okay? Wait there, pal. Friends, don't be worried about that. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Take care, lads, all right?
Oh my god. Why? I guess life's too short,
because
that's really
iron brew.
Iron brew. Oh, you even got Warren rolling. That's impressive. Okay, that's a Batmobile.
That is a Batmobile. Someone recognizes the Batmobile.
E o Batman tá em São Paulo, hein? Olha o carro dele aí. E olha quem tá levando o
Hey! I know how. Hey!
Nice. That's awesome.
Also, like, does that horn? Is that the like?
That's fantastic. Harley Quinn sitting in the front seat with him.
That? Probably. Oh, what is that?
Shout out to Anthony Reyes. Oh,
Mr. J.
Oh, see, that's messed up. I shouldn't do him like that. Anthony, you're a good dude. Sorry, man.
Fucking damn boy, he thick.
Balance challenge. Interlock your hands. Push down. Now look at the bottom of your feet behind you. Aye.
I can punch you now.
Aye. That's great. Oh. What else we got? Okay, so we're installing the TV. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
That doesn't look like how you install a standard TV.
No, like sitting on the desk, like trying to like
with platform heels on. Yeah.
Okay.
With platform
also,
shoes, yeah,
I love
probably.
how like the dude is just like
abides.
What had happened was she like, I can do it.
He's like, all right,
like
you show me.
All right.
Challenge accepted.
Oh my god, bro.
Bro, come on, bro.
Wait.
She identifies as bro. Don't worry about it.
How did she fall on the TV again?
TV? Please, by some miracle, let that TV be okay, and also her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, damn, bro.
But preferably her over the TV.
Damn, bro.
Like,
maybe you should have gotten up and helped her instead of smoking that blunt, dude.
He was working on it. He was getting there.
There was an attempt, as the subreddit is called.
There was an attempt. Yeah. This is why you don't wear white after Labor Day.
That's right, Yipper.
Yeah. So this is what you get when you ride a motocross into your wedding. This right here.
No. Oh. Road rash. I don't think that I don't think the rental place is taking that tux back.
Dude. Oh God.
Wait,
why
what?
is it like Swiss cheesed?
What?
What?
Wait, what?
This is why women live longer than us.
Oh no! Yeah, that was bad to happen.
You know
that was bad to happen.
Yep. He deserved that. He deserved every bit of that. Oh, this is fucking excellent. Dog, excuse the pun.
Name, dude. Whoa. Jake and Paul. Jake and Paul. All right, hell yeah, man. Holy shit. Did you guys get here on your surfboard? What the Me or him? Me? Him. Honestly, no difference. I'm gonna go with Paul. What's up, Paul? I'm Jeff. What do you do, Paul? Do you really? Paul, do you really, or are you just making my night right now? You make surfboards.
That's at the Improv. That's at the Improv.
Isn't that? I know that. Yeah, that's New York, right?
I think that could be LA too. But how do you get to the Improv? Practice. That's right.
I think that's the. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Warren's been there.
They have them all over.
Yeah, but I think he's played that one in York.
In New York, I think that could be York. That could be the Comedy Cellar also. That very well could be the Cellar.
Yeah, like it's.
I wish I could see that sign looks. That yellow sign looks very familiar to me as the Comedy Cellar. As the Comedy Cellar. That happens to be where.
Yeah.
We had my bachelor party, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I think that's where Warren is done.
That's in the Village.
Done that.
Yep.
Yes. Cool.
There's a famous yellow sign.
A great little room.
Absolutely.
I think that is the Comedy Cellar where Louis C.K. performs. Yep.
See?
I recognize it from that as well. A few other guys. I think Morel's also done that too. Sam.
I saw Lynn Coplitz there.
DeStefano's done that.
And I saw Jim Brewer there, and he was outrageously funny.
Oh. Like, this guy's fucking hilarious.
I have a joke for you.
Oh boy.
What is a skeleton's favorite snack?
I don't know.
Go on, guess.
Death?
No. Go on, guess.
No.
Come on. Guess. Why are you laughing? I haven't told the punchline yet. What is a skeleton's favorite snack? Guess.
It's putting me in a lot of pressure.
Guess. Fuck. Guess. Guess, goddamn you. Why won't you answer me? What is my favorite snack?
Bones.
No! No!
Bones.
What is it? Why must you fail me so often? Ribs! Spare ribs!
Well, okay. Was that Dave's Garden?
No. No.
I think that was Dave's Garden.
No.
Behind the skeleton.
No.
It did remind me of the aggro.
If only he could be so cool.
Spare ribs.
Oh, shit.
Spare ribs.
Ribs.
Yes.
How much for one rib?
Oh God.
So you know how like we like to end things here.
Nope.
No, he forgot. Other people might remember. You ready for some bangs?
I think so.
I got a couple. Okay.
It's right here what I call redneck silencer, man. What we did here.
Yo, I'm John Knoxville, and this is the Redneck Silencer.
With my man, we stuck a potato on the end, man.
Put a tater on there. You know what I'm saying?
Quiet.
That's Boom Hour. Oh. I think that's going to have a bit of a kickback. And you may end up with some baked potato. What?
Oh my God, dude.
What? Holy shit.
That right there, kids, is what we call differential pressure. Like that rear end on a posit track. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
What? I know, huh? Last one.
Bring it.
Like
that you
Discord, right? Not right now.
Okay. We're lighting fireworks. Uh-oh. I would not let the kid hold that tube. Boom. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh! Oh, shit. That's a bag.
How fucking cool is that?
Oh, as long as it wasn't anything that needed to not go on fire, it would be very cool.
Yeah, it was, sure, bonfire, I think. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Gamer Ganja for life. Welcome, man.
And
Good
the
to see
fire
you.
marshal probably didn't.
You're catching the ending with a bang.
That's our show, kids. What say you, sir?
I say we're at we're past 2.5, but that's because I took longer to go over the Misty
2.5?
stuff. We had some.
Yeah. You had an hour and a half, so.
Yeah, we had a little bit longer tonight because I wanted to cover that unionization article.
Hour 40.
I want to cover that climate change stuff and how wealthy countries need to absorb more responsibility. Yep, and also cover
Misty's event on October 8th.
Yep, and cover what's happening with Maine in the public campaign finance, as well as a Twitter whistleblower. That's a crazy story. How the Twitter whistleblower has links to, or that organization that's funding him has links to Omidyar. So you definitely go back.
There's that thing about following all the links at IndieNews.Network.
Yep, we'll clip it up.
Especially the INN merch store where you can get bucket hats and crop
flip-flops
half hoodies and socks.
I think Crab designed the T-shirt that has
water
to still get made.
Even.
Crab still designed a T-shirt that we need to make, and it's all about throwing throwing mainstream media in the garbage, and that labels are bad.
Yep.
Stay independent. And I just stole
I think
his
Jimmy
line.
said she was going to throw some stuff up there as well.
Yes.
We might even add some of the Warren merch, maybe even. Or some Warren merch, maybe even.
Yes, shout out to Uncle Warren. Go follow Extra Booyah, everyone. Rockfin.com/Extra Booyah. I think he's probably youtube.com/Extra Booyah too. EXTRABULLA in the chat, but actually for those who are not watching live and who are listening on the podcast, Booyah is BULLA. So
you can find all of the INN members, including Warren, in that IndieNews.Network link tree. You can just hit sub on all of them. Go to meet the members and just find all their links. Just go do that. Go click down that.
And by the way, check out Indie News Network on Instagram. We've been doing more with INN on Instagram, as well as Facebook.com/Indie News Network. We've been putting more live streams and doing more of Joe's videos and clips and trying to get some stuff up there. It's a beast to manage all of these different platforms and get all these different clips to all these different places. We're working on it, and we actually could use some help. If you're interested in helping, in volunteering, and being a channel manager and learning what that's like, I've written up a description for what we could potentially use as far as help. If you're interested in learning more and getting involved in helping, it is a gargantuan effort to amplify all this independent media. We don't make any money off of this. I'm self-funding, and I lose money, and I'm happy to do it because it's really important that we counter the mainstream and corporate narrative that's out there. And so again, any help that anybody's willing to give, we're certainly willing to accept. And we'll work with you and figure out a strategy, a way to do it. And again, we need people to manage Instagram. We need people to manage YouTube. We need people to manage Facebook and Twitch. I mean, we're on Twitch, and we don't really do very much on there, except to stream there.
Yep.
But if we had someone who could get more involved with the platform and engage more with it and kind of help us grow there, we could probably see our footing grow there. But again, we're over 1,000 on your. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, remember, INN is brought to you by viewers like you. So,
very smooth and announcer like. So again, we're going to be
as always. Like, keep listening to what little birds have to tell you. You got anything else?
I would just say to question everybody's motivations, and we will see you next Sunday night for episode 52 of How Did We Miss That? But thanks for everybody hanging out, and